living critic.
Oh, that's me. Done on my hip, fuck you me. Riding in that chopper with my team. Oh, know me, boy. See, you've done it now. You are fucked.
That's by the beam as my eyes grow. Sipping hella lean, smoking hydro. When I hit the reef, turning tidal. Gary is my shadow, bitch. He go wherever I go.
Huh, Gary hit him with the.
Gary hit him with the.
Gary hit him with the. I'm a stone face killer like my motherfucking house is. Stomach hit that do-si-do and smack you where your mouth is. Heard they want a solo, I can't do that till we out this. Grab my clarinet and smoke them hoppers by the ounces. My treat the finger flash, rub it on. I'm addicted to this cash, I want it all. Let the chopper blow his brat, bend him over, set relax. Put some lead up in his ass, still hetero. You know the crab like money.
Know the spines like fun.
Know the store keeps shining.
Know the squid likes guns.
What we all got in common when the shit's said and done is a dead fucking road cheddar city that we run. That's by the beam as my eyes grow. Sipping hella lean, smoking hydro. When I hit the reef, turning tidal. Gary is my shadow, bitch. He go wherever I go.
Huh, Gary hit him with the.
Gary hit him with the.
Gary hit him with the.
Hello. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I ain't even got the will to lie to y'all. We gonna be here for a while. Usually I don't say that. Usually I don't say that. Why is there another song playing? No. Usually I don't just sit here and make the grand proclamation of we gonna be here for a while. But you know what? I'm feeling, how the kids say, I'm feeling frisky today. And I don't know why. But I just know in my heart I'm gonna be here for a while because ain't never in my time being alive did I expect a bunch of people to just choose to be weird about a random celebrity dying. But you know what? It's all fun in love and utter stupidity. So if you don't know, O.J. Simpson died. I shouldn't be laughing at this. What a tragedy that befell a bunch of people. Because it's Friday and it's the weekend? Absolutely not. The day of the week has no correlation into any of what I choose to do and how I choose to operate. I'm sorry. Maybe for you, that might be how it all ends up. But for me, nah. For me, I just like to just sit back and vibe just a little bit. Also, remember the stream I did yesterday? And what was I even doing? I don't even remember what I was doing on that stream alone. I just know I was streaming. What was the antithesis of that stream? Oh, it was Fresh and Fit finally having a baby, and I only spent maybe 10 minutes talking about that, and X amount of hour talking about something else. Yeah, y'all want the funny bit or the bad bit first? All right, since I know you all are such good boys and girls, I'm going to give you the funny bit of this interaction. I'm not reading that. y'all always want to choose violence for no reason, and I don't get that. Oh, great. I hate that every time I start this, I gotta always have this restart just a little bit. Look who commented on my video. Oh my God! And where did I start having this? Oh, it was here when I started talking about the Romeo and Juliet day. And listen, I stand by what I said. Y'all could call her ugly and just get it out the way. There's no rhyme, reason, or circumstance you need to be pedaling your feet. Instead, just call her ugly. If you call her ugly, no harm will fall upon thee. You will just be criticized based on how you look. And honestly, you play a dangerous game being ugly, calling somebody else ugly, unless you got the thickest skin under the sun and you know how to just go at it. I despise FD Signifier, but ABBA got him good. I don't know why you're giving me a negative and trying to counter it with a positive. You're supposed to just be like, I despise FD Signifier, and I'm glad ABBA got him good. Like, you're not supposed to make it seem like the but is somehow worse than the first part of the statement. Go back to grammar class, please. But yeah, I'm one of the people who just sit here and be like, you could have just called it ugly and keep it about the day. Also, I still hold strong that if you one of the people that likes to talk about how everything's woke now with all the race play and the race swap, I don't know why I say race play, race swapping, you can't then turn around and be like, oh, I understand why they do it in this genre. Because arguably, it's all fiction anyway. But I don't know how much old Black Conservative Perspective watched. I don't know if he watched like the whole critique of the video. But hey, he took it like a champ. Hey man, I appreciate the fact that you criticized my opinions and didn't attack me personally. Now look, take offense to this part if you so choose. I don't care about your personal life. Like, I don't get why people do that. It's like, I don't value none of y'all personal lives. I value what you saying about specific thing. And I've never sugarcoated it. I watch Black Conservative Perspective, and sometimes I agree. Sometimes I don't. Just because I disagree on 5 things don't mean it's time to start making fun of his head or trying to find out information about his family. Like, no. I'm here to criticize the shit you saying in a video. And you being one of the people out of many who like to make a big stink about Hollywood doing race swaps and then turning around and being like, well, I kind of see why they do it for plays and whatnot. All you had to do is call a lady ugly and go about it. Because that's what I would have did if I cared. But it's a Broadway play that's sold out. So any hope of this being like some, you get woke, go broke, you can't say that. And he didn't even say that. But for anybody else who think, oh, they've gone broke and they've now reached like the Romeo and Juliet theater. No, they sold out. They got to, now, if somebody chose to be a wiener and just buy a bunch of tickets just to not have anybody show up, you know what? Dick move, but fair. Do what you want. If you ever want to discuss, just let me know. I don't. I got nothing. I got nothing to discuss. And I think that's just me as a dude, because it's like if I see an opinion and then I give my opinion on said opinion, it's over with. Elongated talking don't really do anything. But at least this is what I'll say. I know if I were to talk to Black Conservative Perspective, I'd have a fruitful conversation. It won't be this, you inspired your audience of right-wingers to watch Fox News and shoot up a parade for a Super Bowl victory because of Taylor Swift. It won't be none of that. It won't be none of that shit. At least, we could gather around a campfire and chill about that. All right, but I just wanted to show y'all that because, see, I may be this crude, bold, and brash individual, but when it come down to it, when it really boils down, I can really get y'all to have civil conversation. I'ma just need y'all to get out y'all little bubbles and come exist in the real world just a little bit. You know? I just need y'all to like, just exist in the real world. I don't know why I just did that, but you know, as long as you do that, you'll always be all right. As long as we all exist in the real world and get out of our little bubbles, we'll be all right. Man, last time I heard about OJ, he was driving a white Bronco. That's a significant long time. That's a significant long time, you know, to not know about OJ. You talking about the one schizo who was talking mad about you for making a video about him? I wouldn't be surprised if he's still talking mad about you, hoping you get him to talk about him again. I mean, I was, but since I'm such a slave to my audience, and my audience said, no, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't talk about him. Why were you moaning? Because you got here. You know? I sensed you coming, so I had to give you what you wanted to hear. You know what I'm saying? Okay. OJ died, and the corner of black people that have been like spending the past 3 months arguing with each other about who's black and who's not and who's African American and who's not. It's like, y'all concern me because y'all the same group of people who will sit up here and be like, oh, the whites are always doing something to trick us and we need to stay focused. And y'all have spent 3 months arguing with black people, African Americans, African people, Ethiopians about who's dictated as black and not, to the point where they got a white woman from Louisiana busting out her Louisiana accent on all of y'all, and she saying she black, and now you got people saying she is black and she not black and this black. No wonder everybody gets away with messing with y'all. It's y'all easy. It's like dangling a carrot. It's just simply like dangling a carrot. But OJ passed in like a full 24 hours go on, and people like, yeah, we did this to get back for Rodney King, and yeah, we did this because of this reason. And all I'm sitting here thinking is, if anybody's mad about OJ being not guilty and you got a problem with the jury and all this, welcome to understanding that the justice system is terrible. Yeah, Quiet Chris, it's been a whole bunch of takes about OJ. Sorry, I just gave you the lame duck version, but X amount of people have had their fun talking about OJ being scot-free. It has been hilarious to see. And apparently, this is coming from Libs of TikTok, a CNN guest said the black community felt represented by O.J. Simpson because he killed white people. But before that one, this was the one that came out before, where a CNN reporter reported on the death of O.J. and the BLM version of the 90s that promised riots if he was convicted. So many people were just happy to see that someone who is black could get away with what other people did in the system as well, too. Let us see.
And it's also just worth noting how much was impacted by this trial, Jake. So many
I would argue nothing was impacted, because the same situations still go on to this day, where people get in situations that one side deems favorable, the other side deems favorable. You will be seeing a video from me today on such a subject in about 3-ish hours. It'll lead to going to trial. It will lead to instant demands of justice that nobody really gets because they don't understand the process of investigating and due process. And once the final verdict comes in, a bunch of people don't seem to realize that they're either going to get what they want or not get what they want.
Happened. We saw policing changing here in the city. And it's also worth noting, because of that unrest, that racial unrest in the 90s, that is why so many people who may not have been invested in O.J. Simpson were just happy to see that someone who was rich and famous and black could get away with what other people did in the system as well, too.
Yay, we got one moral victory. A rich black guy, a quote unquote, got away with murder, because there have been others who've done it in the system as well. And you know, what a terrible way to look at that. People look at this and say, oh, well, this person got away with this, so how come this person can't get away with that? You know, the correct take is to fix the system. It is not to say, hey, everybody, since that person who has that skin color got away with this thing, this person who has this opposite skin color should get away with this thing. That is the worst way to look at this, objectively. How come we've done that instead of saying, this system's kind of wonky. In all of these different states, these systems put in place for due process and punishment are terrible, like objectively terrible, and leaving it up to individuals to choose the fate of somebody else, dangerous game, one that tends to sometimes lead to a situation that you think shouldn't be happening. And overall, I'm not a fan of it. And I'm not a fan of it because it'll lead to dumb conversations like this, where one person can sit here and say, oh my God, I got away with it. Hooray, because of my skin color. And it'll leave all the marsupials to sit there and think, oh my God, I should be able to get away with it. You understand? You understand that weird dichotomy and fixation that creates? It's bad. And I wish it would stop. I wish it would stop. And this is the other one.
But it was so racially charged because of what had happened just before with Rodney King, but also just how Black Americans feel about policing. It's not like O.J. Simpson was the leader of the civil rights movement of his era. You know, he wasn't a social justice leader, but he represented something for the Black community in that.
I would like to ask the jury, what did O.J. Simpson represent? He was a rich football player who was on trial for murdering his wife or ex-wife or wife. Like, who did he represent?
That moment in that trial, particularly because there were 2 white people who had been killed, and the history around how Black people have been persecuted during slavery. There were just so many layers. And I guess I would just close with this, is that there was racial tension then, there is racial tension now. It might not be the backdrop.
Oh my God. So it's almost as if nothing's changed. It's almost as if nothing changed. Of
the Trump campaign. But until this country is ready to actually have an honest conversation about the racial dynamics from our origin story till today, we will always have moments like O.J. Simpson that manifest, and our country will always be divided if we don't actually deal with the issue of race.
So wait a minute. If we don't deal with the situation of race, we're going to have more examples pop up sporadically of Black rich football players killing 2 white people, going to trial and getting away with it scot-free. And then they go on to write a book titled If I Did It, and subsequently do interviews talking about how they don't want to go into specific cities because they might run into the killer. If we don't deal with racial discrepancies in the world, we're going to see more of that pop up. Bravo, madam. You reached so far, you actually made it around the world to readjust your wig. And it is amazing. That's truly amazing, grandiose poppin' circumstance. I am so proud and so enthralled for you. I'm actually going to lose my mind at this one, though, because I am a highly competitive individual. And you Gen Zers make my world a living hell, because why? Scrabble makes its historic change to game with less competitive and inclusive version to appeal to Gen Z. This is a game changer. For the first time in 75 years, Mattel is making a major change to the iconic board game Scrabble and touting a no more scoring gameplay option. These pussies can't spell! That's what it really is. The new launch is a double-sided version of the famous board game, one side of the original game for those who want to stick to the long-time traditional version, and one side with a less competitive version to appeal to Gen Z gamers. The flip side of the classical game, called Scrabble Together, will include helper cards, use a simpler scorer system, be quicker to play, and allow people to play in teams. These motherfuckers can't spell! That's what you're telling me! The makers of Scrabble found that the younger people, Gen Z people, don't quite like the competitive nature of Scrabble. Giles Brandreth, great name, who co-hosts the language podcast Something Rhymes with Purple, told BBC Radio 4 Today they want a game where you can simply enjoy language, words, being together, and having fun creating words. Y'all can't spell! Ooh, whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm sick. See, I read the title and I told myself, motherfuckers can't spell. But as I read through this, I'm right. Y'all can't spell. Scrabble Together is marketed for those who find the classical game to be intimidating, or for people who have ever thought word games aren't for me. If word games aren't for you, don't fucking play them. Scrabble has truly stood the test of time as one of the most popular board games in history. Sorry, Connect 4. Sorry, Monopoly beats all of these. What's the one game where you Doctor Operation? Is that it? I don't know. The one game where they got the little Iceman on the iceberg, you beat the iceberg with hammers. And we want to ensure that the game continues to be inclusive for all players. Ray Alder, vice president, vice president of global head of games for Mattel, said in a statement to the Post, "For anyone who's ever thought word games aren't for me or felt a little intimidated by the classic game, Scrabble Together mode is the ideal option. Scrabble Together mode continues to celebrate the wonder of words just as the classic version does, but thanks to its exciting new cooperative and dynamic gameplay, saying gameplay with a word game. What gameplay is there? It's words on little bitty plastic bricks. That's not gameplay. What is gameplay to you people? This is sick." However, some naysayers objected to the changes, calling it Scrabble for snowflakes and woke Scrabble. You know what's crazy? This will probably be the one time I agree with calling something woke. This gotta be the one time I'm gonna agree with this, because how dare you? So what's new exactly? In addition to the dual-sided board, the helper cards, which provide assistance, prompts, and clues, can be selected to match the player's challenge level of their choice. They can't spell! In the new version, scoring is a thing of the past. Now all one has to do is finish the goal and collect the gold card. Gold cards include challenges such as play a horizontal word, play a 3-letter word, or play a word that touches the edge of the board. I'm sick. This is not the game I know. I will trade it all away. If you come back to stay, these board games aren't the same. I'm sick. This sickens me to the nth degree. Once 20 gold cards are completed, that's it, the game is over. Mattel said the new protocols in scoring, no need to do math for each turn, will offer shorter games. The game speaks to a trend of younger people who want to avoid competitive games instead of favoring teamwork and collaboration, working together, and a fun goal together. I am sick. That's all I can say to this. I am sick. And then the colors. What is that? What can I spell with THMAQGE? Mag? Hag? Hat? Mat? The? Met? Meat? Heat? No one complimented my singing ability, and I feel very disrespected by all of you people because of that. It lets me know that you all don't truly value the pipes that I truly bring forth in American society. Ooh. Ooh. W singing. It's too late. I'm already offended. Okay, I'll bite. What am I reading? You're reading the new rules of the new Scrabble game because apparently people my age can't spell. I am upset. I am staging a mutiny. A Mattel spokesperson told CNN that Scrabble Together will soon be available in Europe, but won't be available in the US since it doesn't hold licensing in America. Thank God. Thank God. My traditional American values still hold up to this day. They still hold up. This is just for you people in Europe. I already knew you people couldn't spell, but that's besides the point. While we don't have any plans for an update in the US, we love the idea of different ways to play Scrabble and continue to attract new players to the game around the world. Scrabble, which is one of the world's best known board games, has been around since 1938, blah, 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 blah. New research found that almost half of Scrabble players have tried to make up a new word to try to win the game, and 75% of Scrabble players aged 25 to 34 have had to look up whether the word is real or not. Everybody slow. Whoa. This is sick. So what's the problem with people in Europe? I got to know. What's the problem with Chick Tries? Where you at? You said you be lurking. Oh, I gotta call. I gotta message my sister from on the other side of the waters. I must get to the bottom of this. I frivolously just typed this up in a panic. This damn won't have no idea what I'm talking about. My generation continues to disgust me. I'll just play chess. See, that's a game that might need some changes. Chess is a difficult mother. It's difficult. Our literacy rates, I'm in the UK, has gone down in the past 4 years. Ridiculous. I am offended. I have now gotten word back. Chick tries doesn't even play Scrabble. Ah! Chick tries doesn't even play Scrabble. Did you get paid the 2,000? One of y'all owe me 2,000. I won the bet. I played that bet fair and square, and y'all treat me like this. And I don't like it. I don't like the fact that I'm being treated like this. What is this? Pregnant people, only women can get. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I don't want to. I don't want to hit play, but I'm so tempted to hear what this person has to say. I'm so tempted, but I don't wanna. Mom. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We played Scrabble for our English classes way back when. Yeah, that's a significant damn shame for you, buddy. If that's the life you really live. Can I just be honest with you? Apparently, Neon's been arrested and been sentenced to 1 year in prison in Dubai. And here's the thing. I have no idea if that's true or not. Be hilarious if it is, but overall, that's kind of the fate for a lot of people. I gonna be honest with you. Like, that's kind of the objective fate for a lot of people. It was fun. Was it though? Was it fun, or have you convinced yourself that it was fun so that you could feel somewhat better about yourself? You know, everything isn't a form of for Dubai of all places to be arrested. I mean, listen, if you chose to go to Dubai, it's all up to you. Oh, I got 100 messages to restream. It's so great. It's so great. It's so awesome. All right. Now my ladies in the chat. I know I only got probably 4 y'all, but you know, it's always nice to have a female audience. Got to promote that pussy somehow. Let me ask you a question. Do any of you get irked when the conversation of pregnancy comes up? Like, do any of you? I know at one point it was like a big thing, especially with all the abortion rights and whatnot. I need more women to give their takes on this. Peachy! Peachy's back from her vacation, everybody. Oh, and I'm gonna tell y'all a secret about little old Peachy. Matter of fact, I'm gonna ask Peachy first. I'm gonna ask Peachy if I could disclose this information. Yes and no, depends on the pregnancy topic. Well, look at the screen and you tell me what the topic is about to be discussed. You look at the screen and tell me what topic is about to be discussed in terms of the topic of pregnancy. And while I wait for PG, we can watch this.
Women can get pregnant. That is false. Pregnant people, only women can get pregnant. That is false. People who are assigned female at birth can get pregnant. There are plenty of men and non-binary friends who have a uterus. Trans men and non-binary friends can make babies if they have a uterus, and if you can't sit with that, check your transphobia.
You all might want to check your transphobia. You know? You all might want to check it. You all might want to check that transphobia. You know, check it. Check the phobia. Check the phobia. I, as a man, if I had a uterus in me, apparently I could do it. That's something I didn't really spend time studying in science class. Honestly, we didn't really spend too much time learning anything in science class, but I'm going to let y'all continue to think that Catholic schools were the beacon of society. Okay. They could have just said that. That's another good. What y'all feel about being called pregnant people or birthing persons? Because I remember at one point that was offensive. Peachy has given me permission to tell you all she went on vacation and got drunk. Oh, I love it. I can't tell y'all the smile that ran across my face when little old Peachy, informed me that she got drunk. In case any of y'all never remember that term, and listen, birthing person, just shut your mouth and enjoy the fact that you are you're nothing more than a birthing person. We're so proud of you. Quinn is crazy. I need an example. I need an example. Now imagine class. Imagine this squirrel-esque character getting drunk. I attribute Peachy akin to a squirrel. Peachy is like a squirrel. Like how is her hanging? I have no idea. She claims that she was a little bit dizzy. I've told her that we have all congratulated you. Peachy's gonna kill you. What do you mean? I have not. What do you mean? I got permission to say this, and I've informed her that we have all congratulated her on getting drunk. I'm going to text her saying the drunks have welcomed you. Welcome to the family is crazy when you really boil that down, because you know how. But imagine like the innocent child that we've grown to know over the past year in Peachy got drunk, went on vacation. First of all, be proud of Peachy for going on vacation. Peachy has always been somebody who informs you. And Peachy has said thank you for welcoming her into the drunk community. She has given you all her thanks. She says thank you. She appreciates it. She welcomes it with stride. She will be drinking Heinekens and Bud Light for the rest of her days instead of water. But we have all grown to know Peachy over this past year as like the bubbling buffoon who always has a significant story about her life that you could put into a TV show. But I was so proud of her for saying, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going on vacation. And she went, I guess, with family, and they had fun. And to find out that she got drunk, little old Peachy got drunk, I almost hit a split. And I felt so proud. I felt like a proud father. One of my younglings got drunk. I felt so proud. Y'all remember when I streamed yesterday and Oni came in here and be like, oh, I'm so sad from all this negative news. For 30 minutes, we just been having a time. See, I can come on here and we could just ramble through a bunch of sad, depressing negativity. And then other times we can celebrate somebody drinking. And no, it wasn't those Shirley Temples. It wasn't those pesky Shirley Temples. No. Leon, I beg you, please unpause. I can't stop laughing at that freeze frame. No. I'm an expert at the freeze frames. I'm good. You know what's so sad? I called her a squirrel, and now that I'm looking at this freeze frame, I do the poor child no favors. I legitimately do this poor child no favors. The freeze frame I come into. See, it's crazy. Don't Shirley Temples have 27% alcohol content? The way PT describes it, she takes the alcohol out and still calls it Shirley Temple. And it's like,
Also, stop hiring black people to make Mexican food. Would you trust a white person to make you Chinese food?
Trans Fat has been a member of the Ruined Fields for 3 months. Hello, Leon. How's your day going so far? We have spent 37 minutes and 4 seconds, 5 seconds, 6 seconds, 7 seconds, 8 seconds, 9 seconds, 10 seconds, just laughing with pure smiles on our faces. And it's been fun. It's been great. It's been great. And fun time for all. It's been great. Oh, the fun. Oh, what fun it is to ride on a one-horse open sleigh. All right. What type of accent is that?
Also,
I have no
stop hiring
idea.
black people to make Mexican food. Would you trust a white person to make you Chinese food?
Got a super chat from Kareem the Frozen. I'm reading word I can't pronounce. Man, it's such a good manga. A lot of slaughter and sorcery. I believe I was reading this. It was I think it was Berserk. Y'all know that angry horse picture meme? Apparently that's from Berserk, and I could be wrong. And I don't know if the picture I saw is accurate or not, or if it's even real. But Buddy just like had his meat out. And he looked like he was having the time of his life. You know what? Screw it. Cheers, my dude. Love you, no homo.
Cheers, my dude. Love ya. No homo.
Since you've all been such good boys and girls, I'm going to let you in on the nostalgia that I have been feeling over the past week. And I don't care about the copyright claim. I'll deal with it after the stream. For like a week. Oh, it feels so good to be alive, my children. It felt so good to be a kid again. Duck Dodge is criminally, when we talk about underrated cartoons, Duck Dodge has got to be up there. You know what? Is it tier list time? Is it time to do another? Is it time to do another one of my infamous tier list? Is it? Is it time? Where was this gem? I never seen it. It was on Cartoon Network. Or you were one of the people that didn't have access to Cartoon Network. It's on a little known channel known as Boomerang. Oh my God. Matter of fact, let's keep the weird layers of nostalgia going just a little bit. I don't know if y'all can even hear my keyboard. I'd be scared to spend a few moments in your head. What do you mean? What are you talking about? First of all, the disrespect. Second of all, you want to know what's in my head right now? This. Oh yeah. This is in my head. This is what I think about. This is Boomerang from Cartoon Network. My boys, when I tell you, you need help, you know what? You all need help. This is classic, baby. Don't hate on it. Stop hating. We're old? Oh, yes, we old, baby. We are so old.
This is Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
Oh, do another one. Oh, it's all there. It's all of them. It's all of them.
You're watching Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
You know what's the woke indoctrination, the gentrification of cartoons and nostalgia. These woke liberal propagandists changed the logo and the theme of Boomerang, and it made me sick. It made me sick to my stomach. What happened to my boy? What happened? What happened to being a child? These woke propagandists ruined what it means to be a kid. Cause hold on, I refuse. We must boycott Boomerang. We must boycott this woke propagandist corporation because look how they massacred my boy. What is that? What is that? What is that? It's so terrible. That is so ungodly terrible. Where, you know what I've been thinking of? Like, if you notice, all of these corporations, I need to find that tweet. If I find that tweet, I'm gonna lose my mind. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. This is a stream of nothing but pure bullshit. There's no formula for this stream. We just kicking it and we doing nothing else. There's really no set structure to this specific stream. We just kicking it. We vibing today. And I feel like doing that is the best thing for all of us. Us just cooling, just vibing, just living. We're here for the BS. This is all I could do here. Damn. Carl, get out. We're not playing COD right. Carl! We're not playing COD right now, Carl. We're cooling. OJ died. Where's your respect? OJ's no longer on the earth. Where's your sense of decency? You sicken me. Carl! But you know what's crazy? Let me tell y'all about Carl. My good buddy Carl. I play Warzone in 2K with Carl. Me and one of my other partners, we racked up 4 dubs in the Warzone. We got 4 dubs yesterday. Carl come in and we like, come on Carl, come get some of this. We ain't win a game since. And so I'm starting to think it's just Carl. Carl ruined it. Carl ruined it for everybody, bro. I swear. Carl ruined it for everybody. I don't understand it, bro. He wasn't following the rules. I can set the blueprint. But if he not gonna fucking capitulate to the organization and the standards and the rules we didn't put in place, it's fucking ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous. But back to the propaganda. What happened? Y'all remember the Pixies? Matter of fact, it's right here. Do y'all remember the Pixies? And how they just made everything gray and dull? What has happened to our stores? I'm from New Orleans. And like all the McDonald's have like turned into this. Except for one, to my knowledge. And it's one in New Orleans. And it looks like the McDonald's from like maybe the 70s or the 80s. Like from the inside and out. And maybe they'll change it at some point. But last time I was there, it still looked the same. And if that stays exactly how it is, I'll be fine. Cheaper buildings to build. It costs more money to remodel it. I ain't gonna lie though. It's been a long time since I've been to a McDonald's and seen a Play Palace. Hey, it's been a significant long time. Who cleans the Play Place though? Oh, is it Play Place or Play Palace? I always called it either option depending on how I felt. That is a great question. Who goes in there and cleans all that? Who goes and scrubs it down? God forbid somebody like take a shit in there and pee in there. I remember one time, and y'all could call me a terrible human being for this. Y'all could call me an unmitigated, terrible.
Also, stop hiring black people to make Mexican food. Would you trust a white person to make you Chinese food?
Cow and Chicken is in the Ben 10 Omniverse. If you don't believe me, look it up. Oh, I believe you. And listen, I don't know if these new shows for children do this now, but you remember when all these shows was in the same universe and they do like a 2 or 3 episode special? Do y'all remember when the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy just so happened to be in the same fucking universe as Codename Kids Next Door? Like, what peak animation, what peak storytelling. It was a time for us to truly be alive. I got a horrible story to tell y'all. I beat up several children in the Chuck E. Cheese like jungle gyms. Being a kid and like being unsupervised in like the jungle gym, like cave in Chuck E. Cheese was terrible. Because it's like, as soon as you get out of line of sight, you are going to act an ass. Why, Leon? Why? That bitch took the last fucking tray of pepperoni pizza. That's why. A lot of repressed anger from 10-year-old Leon. I opened the fridge at least 5 times expecting some new food to pop up and nothing happens. Yeah, I'm not ashamed to say I still do that as a grown adult. I'm not ashamed to say I still do that. But you know what's crazy? I went back home and all of a sudden they got food in the refrigerator and food in the pantry. I'm like, what the fuck? Where was all this when I was here? You motherfuckers wait till I leave to actually go to the store? What type of shit is this? Leon was a silent menace. No. Here's what Leon actually was and still is to this day. I'm the dude that's not approaching nobody. I don't want to interact with anybody. I don't bother anybody. Every situation that has fallen upon me is because I'm reacting to what other motherfuckers do to me. I'll be completely in the wrong for my reaction, depending on the reaction. Like, I ain't gonna sit here and act as if I'm some innocent bystander. No. So an introvert? Absolutely. It's like, you see me in a social setting, I don't want to speak to nobody. I don't even want to be there. I'm probably just there either because I got paid or I'm doing a favor. That's the one or two options. I got paid or I'm doing a favor. Nothing more. Nothing less. Ain't no out the kindness of my heart, I'm showing up. Oh, I'm going to add another one. If it's somebody who died and I just so happen to like the person, I'm attending their funeral. That's it. You got to, I've been paid to show up. I'm doing a favor, or it's a funeral of somebody I like. I don't know if I'm allowed to share this news, but I don't think I'll get in trouble. I don't think I'll get in trouble for this one. Where is it? I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna read this with no prior context. I'm going home Thursday for 2 weeks. I'm gonna turn the fuck up and I'm gonna record because I miss it so much. And I am excited. I am truly excited. Some days I feel like a exhumed mummy. So any day now, listen. There's a picture of me. It was not peachy. There's a picture of me from 2020. In like, we are 1 month into the pandemic. We are legit 1 month into the pandemic. When I tell you I look like I'm fucking dead, is such a fucking understatement. I legit look like I'm dying. And we were 1 month into the pandemic. Nothing was wrong with me. I just happened to wake up and I see my mama smoking a cigar in the backyard. I'm like, let me fucking interact with my mama. Maybe I can smoke one with my fucking mama. And you know how y'all mamas be. Let me take 15,000 pictures of you. And I looked at that shit. I'm like, God damn. Oh my God. I look decrepit. I told myself looking at that, I'm like, hold up, let me put some water on my face. Smoking with mama is crazy. I mean, she was the one that was smoking. I just so happened to walk outside and see it. And I was like, let me get some of that. Let me get some of that. Let me get some of that. Smoking with your mama is not crazy. If y'all got that type of fucking relationship where you just be like, hand me the black and mild. Oh no! It was just and it wasn't no cigarette. It was just like, you know, them fat ass cigars that Andrew Tate be smoking. She had one of them. I like, nigga, hand me that. Let me get that. And she was shocked. She was like, bro, who taught you this? And I looked her dead in her face as she was smoking that shit. Like, hello. Every trade and trick I done learned came from an adult. Hey, bro. Sophisticated smoking. Trust me, there was nothing sophisticated about what we was doing. We was just smoking. And we was cooling. We was cooling. They always ask that. Right. They always want to ask that fucking question when they see you doing some out-of-pocket shit that they doing. It's like, man, if you don't back up. It be maxing the fuck out of me when my mom be like, who taught it's exactly how she'll do it. Who taught you how to fucking curse? With a straight face. You will pretend to be shocked with a straight fucking face. Right. Patricia, you got it right. And when I'm out in public and you got all these fucking random motherfuckers I don't know talking to me like they know some shit and they get offended by it, I'd be like, for comments and complaints, call a manufacturer. And I point right at my mama. For comments and complaints, see to it that you look for the manufacturer. Here's the phone number. Fuck. Why are two of y'all talking about Ben 10, the fucking Omniverse? Why? Why is that the thing y'all doing? Why is that the thing y'all choose to do at this specific point in time? Like, what's wrong with y'all? Y'all know what it's time for. Y'all know what it's time for. Oh, this ain't enough. Hold on. I need something with some stank. Oh, I already did this. I need something with some stank on it. I need something with some stank on it. Ooh, this look like it got a lot of stank on it. It's time. It's time. I gotta do another tier list. What is that? I don't even know what that is. What is this? 16 was good. A Pup Named Scooby-Doo is great. Adventure Time is S tier. What is that? Oh, that's that show with everybody that was on a beach. That was terrible. Amazing World of Gumball is A. Apples and Onions was terrible. What is that? Atomic Betty? Atomic Betty was mediocre. Baby Looney Tunes is S tier. Batman Beyond A. Actually, both of the Batman. Even though don't tell Kamal this, but I give the Batman cartoons a lot of credibility. I thought you already did a Cartoon Network tier list. I did. I like to piss y'all off with the various different ways that I fuck up these tier lists. So while I fuck this one up, give me another tier list that I could do that'll interest you. Ben 10, S tier. Ben 10 Alien Force, S tier. Ben 10 Ultimate Alien was mediocre. Ben 10 Omniverse was bad. I didn't watch this. Camp Lazlo was great. I didn't watch this. Chowder's S tier. Clarence was bad. Class of 3000 was great. Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs cartoon, never seen it. Code Lyoko was good. 16 was awesome. Yeah, 16 was good. I tell you what was awesome. Codename Kids Next Door. And Courage the Cowardly Dog. And Cow and Chicken. Never seen Craig the Creep. Craig and the Creep? I don't know. The Cramp Twins, never seen. Dexter's Lab, S tier. Everything About How to Train Your Dragons is terrible. Duck Dodgers, underrated. Ed Nettie is dog shit. I don't care what none of y'all say. Evil Con was good. Foster's Home was dog shit. Garfield Show was great. Generation Wreck is mediocre. Georgia the Jungle was great. Green Lantern, dog shit. Grim Adventures of Billy and Maddie was great. Grim and Evil was great. Chowder stinks. That's why your life is the way it is. Don't know what that is. Puffy Amiyumi was great. I Am Weasel was good. Infinity Train was dog shit. Not what it was hyped up to be. Johnny Bravo was good. Johnny Test was great. Johnny Bravo crawled so Johnny Test could walk. Justice League is dog shit. Justice League again is dog shit. Justice League again is dog shit. Crypto the Superdog is great. The League of Super Evil was amazing. Criminally underrated. Don't know what this is. The Looney Tunes shows, S tier. Mad TV was ass. I don't care. Momo, don't know. Flapjack was great. Don't know. The Mixers was terrible. The Moxie was fine. It was good. My dude gonna put Johnny Test over Ed Nettie. Hey. Watch your mouths. Mucha Lucha was great. My Gym Partner's Monkey was great. Ninjago is S tier. OKKO never seen. Over the Garden Wall is S tier. Ozzy was great. Powerpuff Girls, S tier. Powerpuff Girls remake was dog shit. Never even seen it, but I know it's dog shit. Problem Solvers crawled so that smiling friends could walk. Regular show is S tier. Robot Boy was good. Samurai Jack is S tier. Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated was the best variation of Scooby-Doo of all time. Bad. Comedically good. Bad. Squirrel Boy was mediocre. Star Wars, before it was the Clone Wars, is terrible. S tier. Static Shock, S tier. My Black Brother. Steven Universe sucks. I don't care what any of you say. Never seen. Symbiote Titan was ass. I don't care what any of you say. Teen Titans Go was good. Teen Titans OG is S. Thundercats sucked. Never seen. Mediocre. Total Drama Island, S tier. Never seen. Total Drama's reboot. It's terrible. I don't even need to see that to confirm that. Totally Spies is S tier. Transformers sucked. Uncle Grandpa is A. I use that just to piss you people off. Never seen, never seen, never seen, never seen, never seen. Robot Jones is great. What's New Scooby-Doo is S tier. Never seen, never seen. I Hate Annoying Orange. Hero 108 is S tier. That was what I would watch before going to school. Never seen, never seen, never seen, never seen, never seen, never seen, never seen. And Steven Universe, I believe the movie was also bad. Leon has no taste. This is a list of objectively great taste. You all are just bigots. You're all bigots, you're transphobic, and I can't understand how you exist knowing your transphobia shines so bright. Did y'all give me another tier list to do? Somebody said PS2 games. Does my memory stretch that far back? Does it stretch that far back? It does not. Because a lot of these I did not touch. And I'm not afraid to admit it. I did not touch a good portion of these. Oh, wait, some of these I did touch. Never mind. And I'm going based off memory alone. And we're just going to put, because I know there's a few that I didn't play. The Dragon Ball Z fighting game, definitely played. Kingdom Hearts 2, played. Prince of Persia, yeah. Simpsons Hit and Run, oh, Infinite S tier. Never played. That's Midnight Club. That gotta be Midnight Club. S. San Andreas, S. Time Splitters, yeah, it was fine. Tony Hawk, S. Bully, S. World at War, A. I'm struggling with this one. I'm gonna put it in B. Dragon Ball Budokai, I'm gonna also put in B. Never played, never played, never played, played, loved it, never played. Why did you give me San Andreas again? Gran Turismo. I hate Gran Turismo. Midnight Club is the better game. Midnight Club is the better game. Midnight Club is the better game. I don't care what any of you say. Gun was amazing. God of War, obviously. Hitman, yeah. Harry Potter games did suck. Like all of them. The movie tie-in games were never really that strong and never really that good. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Like, don't let your nostalgia come back and try to dictate anything that you're doing. It won't help you. It won't help you. Fuck it. San Andreas could go in the S tier twice, along with Shadow the Hedgehog. It's a pretty good tier list. Pretty good tier list. Best console was the PS2, no debate here. You know what? Now that you've said that, you've opened Pandora's box. Gaming consoles as of 2020. Well, we knew this was gonna get here eventually. We knew at some point we were gonna get here. Now, what are our qualifications? Can you do PlayStation 1 after this? Nope, my memory don't go far. My memory don't go back that far. I am 24. If you expected me to have a memory of all those games, Lego games tier list, didn't really play that many Lego games. But I think we could speed run this one. It's a pretty good list. You sound like that humping turtle. Nice. 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 Oh wait, I know one. I'm gonna do this one, and then matter of fact, let's just do the Lego games, Taylor. Lego video games. 360 deserves B at least. Where did I put it? Lego video games tier list. I think this could be it. See, I didn't play all of these. I definitely did not play all of these, so I don't know. I don't know. I can't go based off that. But you know what I can go based off of? The Xbox 360 is not going in not going in that category. Hate to break it to you. This is not a coherent list of Disney movies. Disney animated shows. Wow, there's a lot of this that I wasn't paying attention to. Damn, you type real fast. Sorry. Hate to break it to you. I'm a very type heavy individual. Don't blame me. Blame the fucking computer class I was in. You know, blame that. Boom, 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 and boom. Pretty good Sly Cooper tier list. Had to speed run that just a little quickly because I don't think there's any debate with that. I understand most of us have been in those classes. I mean, bro, if you take a computer class, one of the first things they fucking teach you is typing and like having your fucking fingers. And you know what's crazy? It's so ingrained in me. I think without that class, I wouldn't have fucking majored in computer science. I wouldn't have a fucking passion for... I forgot I've done this. I've done this tier list at least 3 times. Oh, I love it. I love the fact that I keep coming back to this. Wow, I'm not reading that heckin' until you fix all of that grammar. Until you fix that grammar to where I can actually understand that question. Anime intros. Let's see if there's a tier list for anime intros. You lost your damn mind? No, I haven't. Ooh, Pokemon anime intros. Wow, great tier list, whoever made this. All right, considering that I've listened to all of these, I don't need this one. I've heard all of these. This was gonna be interesting. All right. I'm just going gung wild off the bat. How do I want to play this? Oh, I know how. Bam, 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 Bam. 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 I need to rewatch Pokemon? No, you necessarily do not. Rewatching Pokemon lets you know, like, they got away with doing the same thing over and 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 over again. Until they finally said, you know what? Let them win. Just let them win. Just give it to them, please. It's over. We have nothing else. I guess I need to listen to the intros. I mean, bro, these are even the newer ones. I'm like, whoa, buddy. Y'all kind of doing y'all big. Matter of fact, I told y'all. We getting copyrighted anyway, so might as well just go balls to the wall. I just want y'all to hear this. Is this it? Oh, it is. It is it. Just listen to this. Listen to this. Are you gonna sit here and try to argue with me that this is not good? They're gonna milk Ash dry. Well, the problem is he won and now he's gone. So they got a whole new list. They got two new main characters now. They got two new main characters now. And I guess that's for the newer kids, which is fine. Let them have that. I'm well indeed proud of them, and I'll let them have that. They can have that. Me personally, it ain't mine. Not impressed? Sick work. Sick work. Sick work. Typical YouTube compilation. Whoa. With the disrespect. The disrespect. Remember when I said Hero 108 was the show that you would watch before you go to school? If you had to wake up at like 5 in the morning and get dressed because school started for some reason at 6, or at least that was what you were told, but you knew it wasn't true. This is the other show. This is the show I only watch the first 5 minutes of because then I'd be late to school if I watched like the whole episode, which I was perfectly fine with being late to school. Didn't learn anything anyway.
On the road,
Oh.
far from home, but you don't have to feel alone.
Pikachu is their true cash cow. The problem is both Ash and Pikachu are gone, so they're trying to build a new cash cow overall.
On the road, far from home, but you don't have to feel alone.
Oh,
Brave and strong, together we will be.
it's our destiny. We will be heroes.
We can change the world if we try. I go where you go. Forever friends, you and I. We will be heroes. Battle Dimension Pokemon.
You can't tell me you didn't want to slap the fuck out somebody listening to this. This is crazy work. It's not for me. I wish I had mods in here. I'd ban you. You one of the motherfuckers that like the Power Rangers. Nobody got time for you. Nobody got time for you. Ash had a love interest. He had like 2. Maybe 3 if you want to count any of the movies. He had Misty, and then when he went to, what was that one region? I ain't gonna say it was fairly recent. I think it was called Kalos. That one chick, I don't remember the name. He had like 2. Nah, I'm not going based off of all the random women he traveled the country with in different seasons. I'm talking about the two that was so obvious. May wasn't fucking with him. Dawn wasn't fucking with him. Serena, that was probably her name. You know what's so crazy? Wasn't we supposed to be watching or reacting? What was the whole point of FD Signifier being in the thumbnail? I didn't completely forgot. Also, we didn't got it, boys. Aang is in Fortnite, baby. We finally got it. Aang is in Fortnite, baby. This is what we wanted. This is what we dreamed of, boys and girls. A moment where we could actually come together and enjoy each other's company and realize. You know? So yeah, you know, when I gotta sit here and play a game, we're gonna be reacting to some top tier quality. Some real top tier quality, boys and girls. You know? Because I've been wanting to watch this for quite a while. It's been on the radar to watch for quite a while. And I just haven't done it. I just haven't done it. So, without too much dilly on the dally, I'm going to more than likely 2 times speed this for my own mental health because it's a meaty one. Let's see. Let's go based off the voice at 2 times speed.
One of the most important and influential parts.
Oh, this is going to be great. This could go on 2 times speed. This is perfect. This could absolutely go on 2 times speed, baby. Oh, yeah. Let's hit it. Got popcorn? Okay. Sure. The hypocrisy of cornbread too. First of all, can I just say all these random names y'all come up with to like signify how cool your groups are? You sicken me to like a biblical degree, and it's upsetting. Pretty lips. Oh my God. Don't get horny already, bro. Like, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't get horny already. Like, there's no need for that. There's no need for you to already be in a situation where your body tells you it's time. Seeing this video, it's a journey. Well, I'm so happy for you. Unfortunately, for the rest of the class, we haven't seen it. So, how about you shut up? What is wrong with me? I'm so callous for literally no reason other than it tickles me. I get significant joy out of it. It makes me, how the kids say, feel whole deep inside. And all that matters is the amount of friends that we met along the way. So, unpoetic justice, alert me.
Parts of an essay, particularly a persuasive or narrative essay, is the
You must miss OJ? Sure.
introduction. I'm not referring to how entertaining or seductive the introduction is, but how it primes the audience for what's to come. It's supposed to set the general tone and foreshadows ideas that will be expanded upon later. Theology is a phenomenal essayist. For all the comments I see about her videos being word salad, her channel frequently yields videos with well-constructed theses, and every section adds on to.
Gotta slow it down just a little bit. I gotta learn about apparently the genre of YouTube I'm in. Because someone alerted me that I would fit in great with the bread tubers because I guess they didn't like a topic on a video I did. So it's like, all right, might as well just like figure out my new audience, I guess.
And supports those initial statements. Recognizing a video essay as good or well constructed is not an admission of agreeance, however. It is simply a recognition of ability. And when I know a creator has this ability, and it's not just creating extended versions of casual commentary videos, I begin to be more critical of every sentence constructed, every piece of evidence exemplified, and every inflection on every word. To open a video with what was supposed to be a good faith critique with a comparison to the left to the fascist icon Napoleon of Animal Farm.
The left are heading toward Napoleon territory, and by that I don't mean toward territory of Napoleon Bonaparte, the Emperor of France. I mean Comrade Napoleon, the Berkshire Bull from Orwell's Animal Farm.
Is Leon's character name Diddy Did It? That's my username. My username is Diddy Did It Diddy. Now, before you sit here and try to get mad at that, try saying that fast. Diddy Diddy Diddy. Diddy Diddy Diddy. Diddy Diddy.
to then release a follow-up video that opens with a juxtaposition between Professor Ibram X. Kendi, a renowned but highly questionable researcher and academic, to FB Signifier, a leftist with an ashtray video essayist. These comparisons definitely set a tone. Not a tone that many who, I would probably argue, are a little too emotionally invested in creators and /or online politics would perceive as neutral or charitable. Not a tone that I would describe as impartial or impassioned enough to truly persuade those who are not already predisposed to agreeing with you, but definitely a tone. Recently, he signed a contract with ESPN, yes, ESPN, the sports network, and is a presenter on a series about tackling racism in sports. He was also gifted $625,000 from the MacArthur Foundation.
What I got to do to get $600,000 to be gifted to me?
In 2021, and he also charges $20,000 for any speaking
I
appearance.
guess I'll just put in more hard work and dedication to the grind of being a streamer, and that will get everybody to throw their money at me.
Where have I heard somebody else trying to charge $20,000 for a speaking appearance before?
So Destiny, I know you're watching this. I will come on your stream after you donate $25K to community movement builders here in Atlanta to address the South Cop City movement. If you drop $25K, I will come on your stream and we can have the most banal argument.
Ah, there it is. I would imagine you would either laugh at the hyperbolic comparisons or be made hopelessly critical if you are a leftist or are left-leaning. In Orwell's Animal Farm, Napoleon, from the beginning,
Or you might just look at that and say, you know, it's weird that you want to pigeonhole the conversation or debate behind somebody donating $20,000 to an organization. I mean, bold strategy, but doing that in the hopes of a conversation or debate that will more than likely lead to nothing but word salad and benign insults being thrown, overall does nothing but give somebody the credence to say, I did this, I wasted your time, and you donated money to an organization that I favor.
To not set the animals free of Mr. Jones, their previous owner and slaver, but to become the new Mr. Jones. Napoleon, from the beginning.
Walter, go to work, man. Damn. How many times you not gonna be at work? You concerning me. You concerning me, partner. You supposed to be getting back for the streets. You supposed to show these youngsters what it's like to be really hood. You supposed to show them what's really hot in the street. I should have did a Boondocks character tier list. I'd have showed y'all that Grandpa was S tier, and that was the only S tier character.
Utilize the animal's optimism, ignorance, and desires for positive change to manipulate and corner them, then slowly but surely push them into his fascist regime. I keep saying from the beginning, because shortly after the animal's liberation, while Comrade Snowball was hard at work attempting to teach the older animals how to read and write as he had learned, Napoleon kidnapped puppies and raised them away from the others, only for those puppies to later reappear as brainwashed and muscle-bound with the sole purpose of killing at Napoleon's command. Beginning with Major's fervent, enraged speech on humanity's evil and the animal's need for solidarity, Napoleon saw an opportunity to not save, but to exploit for his own self-interest. To compare the left to a tyrannical dictator who sold out the lives, souls, and happiness of the animals he claimed to serve, and then to turn around and give praise to the old left while showcasing a diverse set of movements was definitely a choice.
I mean, I will say that this newer generation of what you people would call leftists are money hungry, but who isn't? Who isn't money hungry these days? The prices of things went up, and it drove a lot of people to try to find ways to, quote, get a bag, selling your body, doing community work, scamming. Many people did many things in order to, as the kids say, get that bag, queenie weenie, you know? But overall, fuck, I lost. I can't really sit there and say that that's only for like one political side, because you got these individuals on the right who do it too. Y'all know Donald Trump was selling Bibles. When I found out Donald Jarconius Trump was out here selling Bibles, I nearly threw myself at the wall. Forgot about that. That was a week ago. Trump was out here selling Bibles. And nobody wants to sit here and at least admit that there's some form of pandering going on with him. I ain't gonna lie, Trump 2024 is wild. But who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen in November? I don't. All I'm gonna do is wait. All I know is I ain't voting.
If you have read,
so I could talk about any political topic, because the rule of thumb for a lot of you morons is that, oh, you're not allowed to talk about this because you voted for this person, you voted for that person. So since I ain't voting for either one, I could get to talk about both of y'all.
Or remembered Animal Farm, then effectively, you would be able to piece together in less than 3 minutes how ill Ketology thinks of what she refers to as the new left and what I refer to as the online left, despite her frequent caveating that her analysis is purely analytical without placing value judgments. For a leftist, I can imagine this to be very grating. For me, I am now expecting evidence of the tyranny of the left wing from the video Kindly Do Better. I'm expecting examples of fascism that do not only affect an individual, but a country, a society, or at the very least, the development of a strong pattern that could possibly lead to this outcome. The opening of Why BreadTube is so stale has me anticipating the outlining of both Kendi and FD Signifier's propensities to capitalize via grifting on anti-racism theory. If you are unaware of who Kendi is and you have watched Ketology's initial leftist critique video, her summation is largely correct in my opinion, given the information available at the time.
I am drastically confused as to what I'm watching. I thought this was going to give me an explanation about whatever corn BreadTube is. Is this just a response to somebody else's video? I feel like this is just a response to somebody else's video. So, because I'm in this state of feeling like that, we're going to go the route of ignoring this and look for the original video that apparently has her in such a tiffy. Why can't I spell bread? Gluten-free BreadTube? I mean, that's also a take. Why BreadTube video essays became so stale, the growing hypocrisy of BreadTube's thought leaders. Well, there's the first problem. You let these people think they're leaders. That's an overall problem. Oh, we're starting with ASMR and liquid death. Is that water or is that beer?
I'm sick, but I'm not going to let that stop me. Last month, the notorious anti-racism scholar and professor Abraham X. Kendi announced that he was laying off most of his staff at the Center for Anti-Racist Research, CAR. CAR was founded by Kendi in June 2020. Kendi Center was gifted $55 million, including $10 million from Twitter's co-founder, Jack Dorsey, with the mission to...
Oh, it's water? I thought people called that beer at one point. See, back in my day, we called liquid death beer. I don't know who decided to turn that into water, but it looks like since it's in that can, it's sparkling water. And, you know, if I wanted to be like poor rich, I'd get it.
Quote, build an anti-racist society that ensures racial equity and social justice. Now, why I reference Kendi's Anti-Racist Research Center is for two reasons. When I think of, quote, novel ways to understand, explain, and solve seemingly intractable problems of racial inequity and injustice, I cannot help but think of another phenomenon which blew up around about the same time as Kendi's center's founding. A particular caliber of content creator emerged on YouTube with a very specific intent, message, and style. Their videos were not only exciting, theatrical, and unusually long, they also offered hope in a seemingly hopeless, pandemic-ridden zeitgeist.
Lie to yourself. That is a blatant lie. Who among thee thought that this was... golly. I hate when people describe themselves in a manner of which they view as life-saving in a time of need. A lot more people got creative with their vernacular, editing styles, and overall process. You're currently watching a live stream of one of them because I had ample amount of time to be at home, and I told myself this could be an opportunity to grow some way, somehow, figure it out. And I did, not only with my satirical banter, but with my whimsical charm. And having topics not based upon my own well, I'm not going to say they enact as if my own personal feelings aren't in some of these videos, but remaining objective instead of running around calling everything, what's the word? Oh yeah, woke, racist, just going in it with an own free thought. I don't have this dipshit story about how I used to believe this and one moment in time made me suddenly realize it's time to believe everything on the other side. Oops. It's simple. Look at the world for what it is. Realize that there are a lot of people on it who suck and they want to give their opinions about why the world sucks, and you'll tend to find out why they suck, and then you'll be able to realize a lot of people suck and you can move on. I just gave y'all the blueprint, the blueprint of making it through the day. In case anyone was ever trying to figure out, well, how can I make it through the day? This is how.
Like CAR, they claimed and were seen as a novel way for people to understand, explain, and solve seemingly intractable problems of racial, sexual, and general inequity and injustice. The second reason why I mentioned Kendi and CAR is because of a crucial point. Since its founding in 2020, CAR hasn't produced any original scholarship or research, like at all, despite over $50 million in funding, something that is unheard of in the social sciences and humanities. The center has recently faced allegations and an investigation into financial mismanagement. And this financial mismanagement includes Kendi himself approving a mortgage loan of $600,000 to an unknown unknown and unnamed professor. This loan was approved only 3 months after Carr's founding. It turned out that the unknown and unnamed professor is in fact Kendi's brother-in-law and was used by him to pay for...
Hold on, where the fuck is my aim? Because this is abysmal. Bow! Ooh! That's where my aim at! That's where my fucking aim at! A one-shotter! Bow! That thing was nasty! That was nasty! That's where my aim at! Him! Just nothing but him! And it was a one shot to the bow. Bot? If he's a bot, he would have left already, but he's still watching me. He waited for me to emote just so I could, really get him out of here. And shame on you. More than likely, they got bots in this lobby, but damn, you could just be like, good shot, man. You just had to go the route of just being controversial for no reason, other than to try to make yourself feel better. Sickening.
Or his $5 million penthouse. Also, Kendi's brother is YouTube's global content policy lead, so that's a thing. Meanwhile, Kendi appears to be emerging relatively unscathed from all of this. Recently, he signed a contract with ESPN, yes, ESPN, the sports network, and is a presenter on a series about tackling racism in sports.
What does this mean? Can I skip ahead? I'm skipping ahead drastically. I'm skipping 23 minutes in, and if I'm not engaged in this, if this is not interesting, I will be going to the next thing. And the next thing, I would argue, is going to be more interesting for me.
Her viewers. It's interesting that a scathing criticism of Zoe's content received more views than her reaction to it. I think this is indicative of viewers, especially Zoe's audience from 1 or 2 years ago, not only growing up, but also...
I'm bored, boo! Okay, FD Signifier made a video 3 weeks ago about the complex Black history in wrestling. And I feel as though I'm going to end up agreeing with some of this. And I love it. I love when I can watch something and I agree with it. I agree with it. Because then it won't have to be me trying to understand the thought process of somebody struggling to realize that wrestling is fake, which it is. Well, fake, the wrong thing. Predetermined. These motherfuckers do be flying around, slapping each other on occasion and walking away with injury. Overall. But knowing that FD Signifier is an acquired taste, I feel like there's going to be the jump cut of there was not enough Black representation, and then when we got it, it wasn't enough, or it was some weird caricature that was an insult. I feel like that's a good little through line. I feel like it's a good little through line to navigate. Because it's either going to be that or something completely abysmal.
This video is sponsored by my streaming service Nebula, and here on YouTube, it's been heavily edited to comply with YouTube's copyright policies. If you'd like to see the extended director's cut of the video, stay tuned until the end for a special offer from Nebula. Which
I don't want...
Ever since I was a little boy, like literally a little boy, 6, 7 years old, I've always loved wrestling, and I have vivid memories of so many big moments in wrestling stuck in my brain, whether it's when Ric Flair...
So do I. How'd you like WrestleMania this year? It's fucking awesome. It was amazing. I don't care where WrestleMania is next year. I'm going. I already got my one buddy, Sean, in on it. I might convince him because SummerSlam is on my birthday. SummerSlam is on my birthday. So what might happen is I might go to where SummerSlam is for my birthday and have a time. You know what I'm saying? I might just go for my birthday, go to SummerSlam. And that might be something I sink my teeth into as the months go by. Because SummerSlam is in August. I got time to really batten down the hatches with that one. Also, no aim. That's what they said. No aim. Oh! That's what I get. That's what I get for bragging. That's what I get for bragging.
Won the 1992 Royal Rumble and became the WWF champion, which ruined like my whole year. I was praying as I watched, hoping that the Ultimate Warrior, who was my favorite wrestler at the time, would suddenly come back to stop this from happening, and it didn't. I remember getting hyped every time I heard the Hardy Boys music and saw them run out onto the stage. I remember Kurt Angle. I remember Taz's debut. I remember Chris Jericho's debut. I remember the finger poke of Doom, which probably made me turn off the TV. I remember discovering wrestling in Japan. Like, for nearly 30 years, barring a few short or extended breaks when people like John Cena or Triple H figured they should never lose, I have always watched wrestling. If you watch my content, literally going back to my very first video as a YouTuber, you can see that wrestling has always been an influence on me and my content. But up until the last month in preparing for this video, I hadn't watched maybe more than 5 minutes of a single wrestling show in nearly 5 years. At first I thought it was because of COVID. Like, COVID kind of just made me just not interested in watching wrestling because the product looked different and felt weird watching crowds going to stadiums still in like 2021, 2022. The whole situation just made it less fun to watch. But I realized I was kind of done with wrestling a little before COVID. And when I thought about it longer, it hit me that it probably started from one very specific moment in wrestling back in 2019.
It's sponsored by Ghost Re-
Oh my God, I knew it. Now listen, this could be turned into something hilarious because Brock Lesnar has a history of beating black champions. He did it to Kofi. He did it to Big E. He did it to Bobby. This man has a track record. If you are a black champion, look out. They sending Brock on your ass. And it's a fact.
So yeah, this was horrible, but we're not ready to talk about it yet. We have to put it in a greater context, but suffice to say, as a black fan of the WWE, I don't know if I ever felt...
Don't. Please, there's no need to be putting into context a scripted wrestling match going the way you didn't want it to go. Here's the thing. The Kofi Mania run was so great. The month after was so cool. We had fun. It was a great moment. Let's be honest. Like, let's be real. Kofi really wasn't doing numbers. Like, he wasn't really bringing the click back in. Like, I'm happy Kofi got his moment. Literally nobody could take that away from that man. But let's be real here. Once the hype died down, his shit really wasn't it. And it ain't even just it ain't even a Kofi thing. It's how they book shit after WrestleMania, cause shit going into WrestleMania could be the most captivating shit under the sun. Look at what was going on with Cody. Talk about being tuned in every show every week. Now I'm petrified cause Roman AWOL, The Rock not gonna be here as much. It's just up. Seth gone. It's on Cody now to have a captivating run as a champion. And if he don't, shit might be donezo. After a couple months, it might be over with. And it's all based on how they book these motherfuckers. Because I'll tell you, motherfucker got booked terribly going into WrestleMania. This motherfucker got booked as a wuss. This motherfucker got booked as an objective wuss going into WrestleMania. Like, I ain't never seen a dude get booked so terribly. Every week, this dude getting bitched. They making fun of the man dad. They making fun of the man family. They beating this man in the parking lot in the rain. I'm just like, damn, get a hit in, please. Like, get some punches in or something. This ain't gonna cut it. This ain't making me happy. They had me really thinking this man wasn't gonna finish the story. But ultimately he did. And Jesus Christ, Jey Uso should have been champion. I mean, I could put forth the argument that in the next number of months, he might touch that Intercontinental Championship. He might get that off Sammy. I ain't gonna lie, Chad Gable might get that thing off Sammy, and I'd be better off seeing that. I'd be happier seeing that. But I kind of want Sammy to touch that World Heavyweight Championship, but he gonna have to jump through some stupidly significant hoops to get there that irk me to my soul. because I didn't want him winning the Intercontinental Championship again. Because he didn't need it. I would prefer Chad win it. Look at me, fucking. This stream is complete nonsensical, and I love every second of it. I love the fact that I'm just riffing. Because I argue Chad Gable should have been in that spot. Chad had the only story viable to really touch Gunther. Sammy was just, oh, I want to win. I got to win. I don't think I can win. Chad was doing it for his daughter. Or his son, whichever one he has. Because he tried to win, and his daughter cried on live TV, watching her dad get bitched out by the ring. Get it out! You know what's crazy? I went to the Raw that was in Dallas, but when I tell you everybody was doing that hand motion that Jey Uso do, but we was having a party. I'm gonna tell y'all this much though. If you want to go to a WWE show and you choose to spend like the $300 to sit on the floor, spend the extra $300 so that you sitting in like the first 2 rows. Because once you hit that 3rd row and back, you just gonna be constantly standing up. Because motherfuckers don't know how to sit down and watch this shit, but they know how to stand up and block your fucking view. Fuck. Logan be the one that beats Cody? Yeah, well, if that happens, I quit. I ain't watching this shit no more. If that happens. I need LA Knight to get that US belt off Logan. Just plain and simple. I need that to happen. You know what I'm saying? Because that should have happened already. That should have happened at Mania. But you know what? Baby steps. Gotta crawl before you can walk. It's like, damn, though. Damn. Press play.
More disappointed, and considering the WWE's history with black wrestlers, that same
I knew it!
is going to be the topic of this video as best as I can with this long of a video. And I know I make long videos, but like there's no way I can really get into the entirety of this subject in just one video, but I'm gonna do my best to make it not a 4
Listen, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. To give a little bit of credit, WWE did not do a great job with black wrestlers. Some of them could have been legitimate. Some of them were made into objective jokes. However, if I could push back slightly, these motherfuckers could have just been like, nope. But they weren't. And they weren't for a various amount of reasons. This is the big time. These the big leagues. This is probably the only place where they can make some real money. There's various factors. So I ain't gonna sit here and act as if they were forced to do this shit. They probably got put in the bind of having to do this so that they could get their shit. They can get money. I will never let it go crazy that y'all remember when Vince just hit that "what's up, my nigga"? He did that shit on live TV.
Hour-long joint. So let's not waste any more time, shall we? Here is the complex history of black wrestlers.
I need that in this video though. I need the "what's up, my nigga"? If he doesn't put this, if he didn't have this in this video sucks just off that.
Let's start with a little secret. Wrestling isn't a real sport. You might even call it fake. This may be shocking to some of you, I know, but yes, the end results to 99.9% of all activity in the wrestling ring is predetermined. Of course, I say this sarcastically. Hopefully people realize and recognize sarcasm here. And the purpose of that is to ward off comments from people who think they're really smart, that think they'll be blowing my mind by telling me that wrestling isn't real as a 41-year-old man who's been watching it for 30 years, and you be...
I mean, I could agree with you on that. It is annoying when these dipshits tell you that. However, once you really get to the fucking meat of it and you realize that the shit is scripted, you tend to not really take it as serious as you were when you were younger and you had all the fanfare around it. It's like, oh, they booked it like this. Oh, they decided to go in this direction. Oh, they did it like this. Like, that's objectively how this ends up being. Simply because it's predetermined. It's based on what the booker feels is the right option. How did he not get arrested for saying that? I don't know why you think somebody's getting arrested for saying nigga, but all right. I'm gonna let you deal with that one on your own time. I'm gonna let you think about yourself on that one in your own time. I'm gonna let you sit with yourself and wonder, why do you think somebody should be getting arrested for saying nigga?
Be surprised how often this still happens in 2024 when you tell someone that you watch wrestling. It's like they think in their heads that everything else that they watch on TV is real, like the Avengers are real. I don't know. Anyway, it's more
We just go ignore the fact that I just fell to my death.
accurate to look at wrestling like a long-running perpetual soap opera where the drama plays out in the ring and backstage. And unlike most stories in movies or TV, the thing that makes wrestling great is that the bad guys often win in wrestling. And what that does is make the story that much more interesting and unpredictable. And the best wrestlers know how to play into that unpredictability. Professional wrestlers are one part athlete, one part stuntman, one part actor.
What's up,
They tell
Jack
stories with
the
their bodies.
Grim? How you doing, sucker? Because we live in a society. Yeah, well, that society really doesn't hold that much weight once you realize that motherfuckers ain't really that deep about it. They'll sit there and demand you get fired for some fucking reason. But overall, it ain't really that overall deep-ish. Now that somebody didn't point it out that I type fast, I gotta fucking realize it every time I fucking type. And now I feel some type of way. And I feel some type of way specifically because you can't fire the boss though. Actually, you can, and they did. Albeit because of all the fucking sexual assault allegations that ended up being more accurate than not. Then they could have got rid of him at any point. They just didn't. They just didn't.
And I really can't explain enough how magnificent and deep and powerful some of these stories have been throughout the years, but also how incredibly awful some of them have been as well. And from early on, black men have participated in this unique form of live theater with very mixed results and often in very limited capacities. For the first 100 or so years of wrestling as a public spectacle, the predetermined nature of it was not publicly acknowledged. And thus many of the first professional wrestlers were actually multi-combat sport athletes, and one of them was named Real Small. Small was a major attraction as a former slave who would survive homelessness, prison, and a bullet to the neck in the pursuit of a variety of athletic endeavors, and including real, like, original catch wrestling.
Leon, what's your favorite era of the WWE, like Austin Rock or Ruthless against Cena Angle? I ain't gonna lie, watching Cena in Angle, like watching Kurt Angle, like I'm gonna give y'all the weirdest take possible. Perk Angle, TNA, Perk Angle and TNA, probably the best era of wrestling that nobody really talks about seriously. They only talk about it in a joking manner. Because obviously, you're going to not take it seriously when you hear Kurt Angle, the Olympic gold medalist, get referred to as a joke.
Kind of like an early form of MMA, as well as a boxer. But in between time, he participated in what are called worked matches, aka what we understand today as professional wrestling. So this video is going to have a lot of jargon that is going to be unfamiliar to those of you who are not hardcore wrestling fans. So as much as I can, I'll just be pointing to those to pop up here over my shoulder, hopefully, because I'm not recording in my usual space and shit is we're gonna see how this works out. But either way, be prepared to either pause to see those definitions, and I'll probably leave a link to a couple in the description. Small was followed by several other black figures such as Frank Crozier, Reginald Siki, the original Black Panther, Jim Mitchell, but the first major figure to break out into modern day wrestling fame was named Bobo Brazil. Bobo's kind of like the Jackie Robinson of wrestling. He broke the color barrier and technically was the first black man to ever win a championship of a major wrestling organization, although that championship is not recognized. But still, it was a big deal even if it was just for one night. What happened was, in kayfabe, his opponent was disqualified, and Bobo was just too gracious and too good-natured of a competitor to take a championship belt off a contest that he didn't win on the most noble terms. Controversial promoter Billy Wolf, who helped pioneer women's wrestling, likely for all the wrong reasons, introduced 3 black women, Esther Johnson, Babs Wingo, and Marva Scott, who, as far as I can tell, were the first black women to wrestle in a major organization. I won't talk a lot about black women's participation in wrestling throughout history, and not a ton even forward as we get to the modern era, mostly because there's just not a lot to say, unfortunately. For years, the wrestler Jackie was the only black woman to really have a spot at the top of wrestling's food chain, and she's arguably the greatest black woman to ever hit a ring. She's a multiple-time champion.
No. What a wrong take. I will sit here and argue to the death that Bianca Belair has kind of surpassed her, and Jada Parker. If any of y'all still watch NXT, like, look at Jada Parker and tell me you don't see fucking aura oozing out of that chick.
In various companies and an overall workhorse who put everything into whatever she was given. But beyond her, there just wasn't a lot of opportunity for black women up until probably the last decade or so, which isn't surprising given that black men weren't given many opportunities and there weren't many opportunities for women in general in wrestling. So black women were pushed to the side even more. Things with black wrestlers don't really start getting interesting until the 60s and 70s, where more and more characters begin to emerge in the form of the aforementioned Bobo Brazil, but also Big Bad Ernie Ladd, the legendary Sweet Daddy Siki. These figures weren't just participants in wrestling promotions, they were headliners and main eventers, and they were showing that unique element black men have always been able to bring to any entertainment endeavor: exaggerated swag.
The way he leaps off of rooftops and flips backwards to face the camera before falling into a headfirst dive is just full of the exaggerated swagger of a black teen.
Yes, we're still there.
I'm
that
sorry.
term is just, it's the term that keeps on giving.
How the fuck did we correlate any of that to Spider-Man? How do we correlate any of that to Spider-Man? Is it because of the words and how buttered up they made motherfuckers feel? Is that it? Is that all we had to do?
Can you put it on 5 speed so this convo can last forever? Nope. No, I cannot. No, I objectively cannot.
By the 80s, a lot of the hand-wringing around actual participation was gone. Most promotions had a few black headliners, but now a pattern was emerging. Black wrestlers were more than welcome to join in on the big fun, be a part of the big show, maybe even challenge the champion, but be a champion or a headliner, that was not happening. At this time, not only is wrestling as a media commodity still very much in its infancy, but black people, especially in the 60s, are still living in a pre-modern reality where segregation is still kind of a thing. Even as segregation ended after the 1960s, most of the country still wasn't in any way connected to each other across racial lines. It was still rare to see a ton of interaction between black and white people. When you consider that real-life boxing champions were white, were hesitant to fight black fighters in true contests for decades, you best believe that the make-believe matches in wrestling were not going to offer a lot of fake opportunities for black wrestlers. Now, considering that wrestling isn't real, you might wonder, why should anyone care if black wrestlers aren't allowed to be portrayed as champions? What difference does any of this make if wrestling's all fake? And my response to that is, shut the fuck up. Shut up. Shut the fuck. Seeing black...
Not really the response I would have. Because it's like, these motherfucking owners and fucking bookers will book based on who's hot right now. Like, for example, even though I could shit on AEW till the cows come home for all the dumb shit they doing at the current moment, I do like the fact that Swerve is getting his shot at the title and might win, and that'll be something that I will thoroughly fucking enjoy. Also, anyways, how's everyone's day? I mean, we've been vibing for this entire time.
Men as champions is nothing new. Jack Johnson became the first black heavyweight champion boxer way back in 1908 and was followed by a litany of black champions to the point where today...
Why are we comparing boxing to wrestling? This is all... Wait, this is invalid. Why are we comparing legitimate boxing to the fictional fucking fake world of pro wrestling? Skim, fucking skim. Like, skim.
Is your mileage may vary. Because the boogeyman kind of transcended race, like he wasn't implied to be a black man, he was a supernatural being that ate worms. There's something to the idea of a black man walking around eating worms, but at least he wasn't a thug or a pimp, which we're gonna get to those characters in a moment. This dude could barely wrestle. He would just come out, eat worms, do some creepy stuff, and then either get beat up or walk away victorious. It was, good for him, I guess.
Tonight, I will face whatever adversity, good life, or the boogeyman throws me. And take a look, Crystal. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Again at times.
You gotta love the boogeyman.
What?
Those are the mild things. The more offensive stuff comes in the form of the way that the WWE always found them a big black sexual deviant guy. The first notable one was probably Mark Henry in his sexual chocolate era. And then we had Big Daddy V in his Big Daddy V era. McMahon, like so many white men, has a fetishized predilection toward black men's bodies and penises, which you can see from recently leaked text messages that he sent some women he was sexually harassing at the WWE, which is why he's not there now. And this wasn't really necessary because Mark Henry was legitimately the world's strongest man as a professional powerlifter and Olympian, but all of that floundered early in his wrestling career and it didn't connect with the crowd. And until he was made into this comedy sideshow as a sex-crazed, Harry White impersonator who didn't care one way or another what he was going to take home with him, he didn't get over. In kayfabe, he forms a relationship with a 70-year-old Mae Young and gets her pregnant, and she gives birth to a hand.
Is this motherfucker upset at a company deciding to do some comedy that, depending on who you are, will find... This shit just reminds me of motherfuckers not being happy that they don't see themselves being represented the strongest fucking way. Are we ignoring Mark Henry's greatest run as a fucking champion, which was the Hall of Pain? Fuck all this sexual chocolate shit. This motherfucker in 2011 was dogging motherfuckers. And I'm choosing to acknowledge that part of Mark Henry's fucking history because that motherfucker was the man. And speaking of the man, look at me. Him.
I promise you, wrestling has really good stories sometimes. I promise you. Big Daddy V's run with this gimmick was less gross, but only by comparison. But understand, he had been mostly a jobber for years until he found a way to get this sexual deviant black guy act over. And this shows the prominent reality for how black men are required to appear in the world. If we don't show up in stereotype form, we basically shouldn't show up. Now, to be fair, many of these guys came up with their own characters in tandem with Vince, but I also imagine that they did this because they knew who the audience wanted to see. Too Cold Scorpio, Bad News Brown, Butch Reed, the aforementioned Papa Shango, who eventually became the Godfather, the man that gave us the whole train. These were safe acts to play out as a black man in the WWE. And even outside of the WWE, this continued to happen. One of the most extreme examples of this type of character was guys like Homicide, who's technically Puerto Rican, and most notably New Jack. New Jack is a horrible person. I don't want to have that be forgotten if you've seen other things about New Jack. But he also had this amazing gimmick in the 90s where he just said, look, I know y'all are racist.
Yeah, this man is so terrible, but remember what we did remember the cool thing that he did to help my argument for this video? Mind you, New Jack was not a part of the WWE. New Jack was not a part of the WWE. New Jack, probably by admission, can't be a part of the WWE, can't even be recognized. I think even when he died, they didn't really even give a tribute to him. At best, all they did was let Paul Heyman do a fucking a eulogy of some sort, but it was only after the show was over for like a YouTube show.
So I'm going to be the most perfect distillation of everything you hate about me in the ring. He took it to the extreme, literally.
Like me or not, I didn't come up here to be like. I came up here to get paid. And whoever you put in front of me, I'm gonna drop you down. I like to send a special shout out to my homeboy, OJ Simpson. Keep up the good work, baby.
And to be fair, this also wasn't just with black wrestlers. I don't know if I mentioned Yokozuna, who was a Samoan man playing a Japanese sumo wrestler, or Razor Ramon, a white guy playing a Puerto Rican, or Kai and Tai, or the Mexicools. There were also plenty of redneck, poor white trash characters, evil foreigners. Wrestling storytelling at that time, because it was so kid-focused, was built on stereotypes because American children could easily make sense of it. They wanted to see the American hero wrestle a cow. That's how it worked. But these stereotypes do not exist in a vacuum. They do have real life consequences. And a major part of this is Vince McMahon and his appetite for cruelty and need to control things, even if it meant making things worse.
I enjoy destroying lives.
At least that motherfucker never made a black person join the Kiss the Ass Club. And if he did, and I just so happen to not see that, thankfully I haven't fucking seen that shit. I don't want to see that shit. Especially now knowing this motherfucker is basically persona non grata.
So bad at times that it legitimately hurt the product.
Making love to a dead person, you know, a female dead person when you're a guy and you're in this thong type thing, it was like, come on, that is like high comedy if there ever is.
Vince was and is known to be purposely bad at his job just to be petty and cruel to other people. He would diminish wrestlers' popularity and not do things that the audience likes just so that he can appear right.
You violated me!
He is truly a scathing indictment of capitalism in that way because he shows that the logical, true nature of capitalism and people being self-motivated isn't really true because Vince is not always profit-oriented. He's more just, I have the power, I get to do what I want oriented. So he will lose money out of sheer spite.
I'm an entrepreneur. I'm what makes this company. I'm what makes my company and this country go round and round. I take risk, calculated risk.
What's up, Holmes? To be clear, at the time, most of this stuff was seen as kind of in bad taste, but not so beyond a pale. So in terms of offensiveness, right, I honestly am not as seriously bothered by a lot of it. It's just ridiculous to look at it in hindsight. But the thing that does bother me is that this stuff didn't have to be like this. It could have been better. It was a waste of a lot of talent and time just so Vince could get his way. You could write several books about the ways that Vince did this. As I alluded to earlier, Vince McMahon was recently removed from the company for misconduct allegations and lawsuits that are ongoing, and I hope it stays that way, and I hope it's for good. Vince aside, we have to come back to the—
Oh, it is, buddy. And the product very much enjoys the fact that he is no longer like fully or even loosely in control. It's so much fucking better. Motherfuckers say wrestling is cool again, and for the moment you can't disagree, but we'll see how these next few months play out, because WrestleMania is when these motherfuckers actually put on their thinking caps and make some shit happen. We shall see in these coming months if they could keep that fucking momentum going, because if they can't, wrestling is back to being, I ain't gonna say stale, but just like just a wee bit off.
The fact that a lot of these black wrestlers went along with these gimmicks. Mark Henry himself says he came up with Sexual Chocolate because of his love for the movie Coming to America. They did this because they knew this is what the audience wanted from them. They know that the success of a wrestler or the wrestling company depends on putting white butts in seats and white eyeballs on television. And the history of media and sports in America tells us that white audiences really don't want to consume black images unless they look a specific way. Again, Poirier and Denzel Washington. But every once in a while, even within that like constrained way that they had to show up for TV, you do get a Papa Shango or one of my favorite acts from the last 15 years. Big Shad and JTG were your classic bruiser cruiser tag team duo. JTG was the skilled workhorse who would carry matches, and Shad was the flashy big guy who would do power moves and get the crowd going. This formula has been seen a billion times in wrestling throughout the history of it. So to stand out, they played into street thug stereotypes, but really in a wink and a nod type of way, where they took it beyond the actual stereotype and into the point of parody.
Yo. Pop a 40 and check your rollies. It's crime time. Prime's game is so tight that JTG stops to give a shout out to his boy Dirty.
Shout out to my boy Dirty. Pick up the pop side and Flatbush.
Today, this app probably could not work, but at the time, it felt like something interesting and cool, something more, because it let these brothers in on the joke. And it got over big with audiences, and it wasn't one of those situations where I don't think audiences understood what was happening. Like, you know, Dave Chappelle talked about the fact that he didn't often—
What you mean audiences didn't? How can you say audiences didn't understand when you literally showed a motherfucker with a sign that said "Crime Time stole my sign"? What? Nah, where the fuck tell the truth at? Because this motherfucker's like, oh, this video is great. This video screams guy who really doesn't understand that fans like shit or don't like shit, and doesn't seem to realize that the booker is the one that ultimately decides on shit somewhat, while these wrestlers do have a little bit of a say, especially back then. Back then, these motherfuckers had next to none. Now they got a little bit more, and it's great that they have a little bit more creativity in their fucking characters. It's awesome and great for them to flesh them the fuck out. But this seems weirdly fucking skewed to make one guy seem right about his fucking take about the company back then, while bitching about small things now. Like, no, buddy. You can't sit here and say, oh, motherfuckers wasn't in on it, and then show a fucking sign of motherfuckers being in on it.
didn't know if the audience was laughing with him or at him. It was pretty clear that Crime Time, the audience was laughing with them at the concept of this over-the-top black street thug duo that stole things all the time. And even in its own very imperfect way, it showed how much more personality and character and uniqueness black wrestlers could have if given the opportunity. But even though Crime Time was incredibly over as a WWE tag team, they never won a tag team championship, which wasn't even super prestigious at the time that they were popular. During most of the late 2000s into the 2010s, the tag titles were an afterthought, but for whatever reason, still too prestigious to be held by an all-black team. In fact, since Rocky Johnson had won the tag team titles way back in the mid-80s with Tony Atlas, multiple all-
You misheard me? Is that really FD Signifier, or one of you fucking with me? Or one of you fucking with me? Because I can't sit here and see this for myself. If one of you are fucking with me, this is why I hate y'all react folks. Y'all have bad comprehension skills. I feel like somebody fucking with me. Because I can't see if that's really FD Signifier. Because some of you motherfuckers like to troll. And I despise it. Oh shit, it's the man. Now I feel like y'all really trolling me. Har har. Funny joke. You see the check mark? I legitimately do not, because I'm doing this all for Restream. And Restream doesn't let you see any check marks. It just gives you either the Twitch logo or the YouTube logo. So now I gotta find my phone. Oh shit, it is him. What's up, brother? There is a check mark. Well, I see it now, motherfuckers. I can't see it via my computer. I had to pull up my phone. But why do you hate reactors? Oh, it's because we have bad comprehension skills? Well, my brother, if I could ask you if you didn't leave. When you say motherfuckers aren't really in on the joke, but you show me somebody with a Crime Time sign or a Crime Time stole my sign, wouldn't that mean they in on the joke? Go back and listen to what I said about Crime Time. You know what? Just because I know you're not really a dick and you are FD Signifier, where does the Crime Time part come in? Go back and listen. Oh my God, why the all caps? Where's the part where Crime Time comes in? Specifically. Here it is. Man. And
it's kind of in bad taste, but not so beyond the pale. So in terms of offensively,
Jesus Christ, so demanding.
That's right. I honestly am not as seriously bothered by a lot of it. It's just ridiculous to look at it in hindsight. But the thing that does bother me is that this stuff didn't have to be like this. It could have been better. It was a waste of a lot of talent and time just so Vince.
I ain't gonna lie, Vince McMahon. All right, wait, hold up. FD Signifier, answer me this question. Just like answer me this for the sake of my own comedy. Did you put the fucking clip of this man saying nigga? Did you put the clip of this man saying nigga in this video? Like, please. Please tell me you put that in there, because I need that laugh. I'm begging. You put him in the do-rag, and the do-rag was wild. Please tell me you put him saying nigga in this video. I just need to know. It's in there somewhere. Fucking thank you. As long as I know that's there, I'm gonna have a great time. I went back too far? What do you mean? This is exactly where Crime Time is about to show up. In literally a minute. It might have cut it for the Nebula. Oh, man.
Could get his way. You can write several books about the ways that Vince did
this video is a 0 out of 10 just because I'm just playing.
As I alluded to earlier, Vince McMahon was recently removed from the company for misconduct allegations and lawsuits that are ongoing, and I hope it stays that way, and I hope it's for good. Vince aside, we have to come back to the fact that a lot of these black wrestlers went along with these gimmicks. Mark Henry himself says he came up with Sexual Chocolate because of his love for the movie Coming to America. They did this because they knew this is what the audience wanted from them. They know that the success of a wrestler or the wrestling company depends on putting white butts in seats and white eyeballs on television. And the history of media and sports in America tells us that white audiences really don't want to consume black images unless they look a specific way. Again, Poirier and Denzel Washington. But every once in a while, even within that like constrained way that they had to show up for TV, you do get a Papa Shango or one of my favorite acts from the last 15 years.
Papa Shango is a wild ass nigga. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Big Shad and JTG were your classic bruiser-cruiser tag team duo. JTG was the skilled workhorse who would carry matches, and Shad was the flashy big guy who would do power moves and get the crowd going. This formula has been seen a billion times in wrestling throughout the history of...
Neon girl, you hell? Shut the fuck up. My bad. I ain't got dreads. Fuck. But goddamn.
So to stand out, they played into street thug stereotypes, but really in a wink and a nod type of way, where they took it beyond the actual stereotyping into the point of parody.
Yo. Pop a 40 and check your rollies. It's crime time. Time's game is so tight that JTG stops to give a shout out to his boy Dirty.
Shout out to my boy Dirty. Pick up the pop side. Today, this app probably could not work, but at the time, it felt like something interesting and cool, something more, because it let these brothers in on the joke. And it got over big with audiences, and it wasn't one of those situations.
You know what? I'll take the L. He said brothers. So he's talking about me. He's letting me in on the joke. It's still funny that the motherfucker had a crime time store. That's some ignorant shit. I don't give a fuck about none of this shit. Wrestling fans will always be fun up until they decide to do some I want to grab on the fucking wrestler shit. I will always co-sign the wrestlers kicking their ass doing that shit. I will always fucking condone that shit. It looks nicer. I will fucking admit FD Signifier has some nice hair. However, I have better bifocals. Ray-Bans, motherfuckers. Will always be a better brand of glasses. I will argue that to the death.
Why I don't think audiences understood what was happening. Like, Dave Chappelle talked about the fact that he didn't often know if the audience was laughing with him or at him. It was pretty clear that Crime Time, the audience was laughing with them at the concept of this over-the-top black street thug duo that stole things all the time. And even in its own very imperfect way, it showed how much more personality and character and uniqueness black wrestlers could have if given the opportunity. But even though Crime Time was incredibly over as a WWE tag team, they never won a tag team championship, which wasn't even super prestigious at the time that they were popular. During most of the late...
They're not prestigious now. I know motherfuckers might pretend like they prestigious now. I'm not saying FD Signifier thinks they're prestigious now, but even now, it's like, they just kind of there. Like, they're so there at this point that the seemingly hottest act of the Judgment Day lost them in the most Looney Tunes-esque way fucking possible. And the only reason I'm a fan of it is because R-Truth's the GOAT.
2000s into the 2010s, the tag titles were an afterthought, but for whatever reason, still too prestigious to be held by an all-black team. In fact, since Rocky Johnson had won the tag team titles way back in the mid-80s with Tony Atlas, multiple all-black tag teams would exist, but rarely get a chance with the belts for years. At best, you would get maybe an interracial team where uber-talented wrestlers like Sheldon.
I haven't watched much. They felt prestigious during the New Day run. Were they? No way this nigga got me thinking about these fucking tag teams. I might have to fucking agree with you on that one, because the New Day, what teams existed during like that initial time frame? The New Day, the Usos. I can't say the Shield. The Wyatt family, they did not have a lot of fucking tag teams, and that was some nasty fucking work. Can I throw the Shield in that? Because I think the Shield kind of broke up around the time New Day was getting traction. The New Day definitely elevated because they were like top 2 draws in the company. Whoa, wait a minute. Wait, hold up now. Top 2 or 3 at the time? Because that's like 2016, 2017. Hold on. I don't know if I can agree with that one. I don't know if that's a drastic take. I give them top 10. You know what I'm saying? But top 2? Top 2, 3? Yeah. I don't know about that one. Yeah, I think around that time, who they had that was top draws? Cena, AJ Styles. Do I want to say Roman? Do I want to give Roman the credit for that at that time? Do I? I don't think I should. I might. I don't think I should. Cena was still fucking around. Cena was still around. Brock, even though now you can't really look at Brock and be like, you're so awesome. Kind of got to look at Brock and be like, yuck. They were more over than Styles and Roman. I mean, maybe Roman, I'd argue they was over than Roman. But Styles? AJ Styles? I don't know, man. I don't know about that one, man. That's a great That's a great question. What year we talking about? I hope we ain't talking about 2016, because that was when AJ was probably their best bet at the time. Like 2017, 2019? You can't say 2017 through 2019 that they was like top 2 or 3. Oh, hold up. Stop. No, wait a minute. Let's be fair here. Because you kind of came in here and grilled me a little bit talking about some, this is why I don't like you reaction streamers. At least I'll fucking go back and be like, oh, I got that wrong. Are we talking about tag teams or overall draws? If we talking tag teams, fuck top 2. They was probably the best draw. I ain't gonna lie, the Usos, the Usos in the New Day was the top 2. And you can argue which one was number 1 and which one was number 2. All I know is when you think of tag teams around that time, you thinking New Day and Usos. Whichever order y'all want to put them in is the order y'all put them in. I gotta run, be nice. I mean, I was being somewhat nice. You came in here and shat on me immediately, but it wasn't too bad. Now, so far, 33 minutes in, the only thing I'm really like grilling you on, but not like hold your feet to the fire on, is like the correlation between boxing and this scripted shit. Because while I can agree with you, immediately just being like, oh, it's scripted, get over it. It's like, yeah, but you still want to see some shit be represented in more than just like a comedic fashion. I can't really correlate it with boxing, which was more real. What's your opinion on The Miz? Great heel, shitty babyface. That promo he did on that Talking Smack show was probably his best work. I don't really like the fact that Awesome Truth is back together, but you know what? R-Truth is funny. He'll make it work. But let's keep watching.
Benjamin would be matched with some guy that wasn't all that great in this biracial tag team thing. But you rarely saw something like Crime Time, which is what made them such a breath of fresh air. Yes, it had all the worst elements of what the WWE habitually did to black wrestlers, but it turned it on its head and made it into something different. Crime Time came and went, and people thought that they would return again eventually. But unfortunately, in 2020, Shad Gaspard, who by all accounts was an amazing...
Who the fuck told... Wait a minute. Time the fuck out. Which one of you motherfuckers snitched and told FD Signifier we was watching this? Because I am below the barrel on this channel when it comes to being in the algorithm. So who snitched? Ooh, you motherfuckers. I ain't gonna find out. But if I ever do, nothing will be done. I'll just keep watching.
Man, and real life hero died saving his son from drowning in 2020 before they could ever make another return. Shad is another example of a black man who's had to receive his flowers after he's left us. For decades, black fans of the WWE had to get used to giving their favorite black wrestlers flowers on the side, outside of the spotlight, having to be satisfied with the acknowledgement that real fans recognize the quality of their work, even if other fans, or more importantly, the administration of the WWE, never would.
Fuck the WWE. Do I need to bring up the Hall of Pain again? Mark Henry, fuck all this sexual chocolate shit. The Hall of Pain was the greatest fucking shit Mark Henry was ever doing. And I stand on that. That motherfucker, when that motherfucker came out, I was like, I now welcome you into the Hall of Pain. If you walked up to that motherfucker and started talking about sexual chocolate, I would believe he would kill you and have every right to do it. Why'd you snitch on yourself? It was you all along? Absolutely not.
Gotten our hopes up and seen pushes start and stop on a dime. We felt like wrestlers had everything they could possibly need to make it to the top, only for them to make it to the middle and basically just stay there. I mentioned Sheldon Benjamin, but there's guys like MVP, D'Lo Brown, R-Truth. There's a long list of black wrestlers who were legitimately great talents, not just good in the ring, not just good on the mic, but good gimmicks, good looks.
You really gonna say that about D'Lo Brown? We really gonna say that about D'Lo? MVP, you know, we can have a discussion about MVP. He was pretty sweet. He was pretty sweet. D'Lo Brown? R-Truth? I ain't gonna lie, I like the fact that R-Truth plays his role as comedic character quite well. And it's unfortunate that when he was quote unquote serious, they kind of made him out to be like a mental patient while also at the same time being serious. I would never forget that god awful fucking pay-per-view. What was that shit? Capital Punishment? God awful. Objectively god fucking awful. Is wrestling racist? They got his racist moments. As long as I never fucking see a black dude in the Vince McMahon Kiss My Ass Club, we all square. Like, fuck. As long as that shit don't come across my screen ever, I'm square. I'm square.
They had everything, but even with all these tools, they might maybe sniff the top of the food chain, maybe be allowed to lose to John Cena once or twice, but they'll never ever get to a certain level within the company. And what makes it so bad is that to the untrained eye, it looks like many of these guys got every chance to be true headliners until you look at who wins the championship at the end of the day. Because the storytelling is so fluid, it's important for the WWE to make these guys look like they're legit contenders and give them strong pushes out of the gate with mid-card titles and little promo time and vignettes at the beginning. So people will say they had the opportunity and just couldn't get to that level, but we see the crowds react strongly to them. We see that they're over it in every way that they have to be, except for in the actual rooms where they make decisions. Kofi Kingston is one of the more clear examples of this. Kofi started out with this Jamaican fun guy gimmick, which he paired with amazing ring work and great energy. This brought him to the top of the mid-card. And only
I think they even spoofed this motherfucker, because didn't they do a segment where they pointed out that motherfucker lost his accent? Fuck! God damn, I hate this company sometimes.
Few years, and then we watched it in excitement as he started to rub elbows with headliners in 2009, working with soon-to-be multiple-time champions like CM Punk, John Cena, and Chris Jericho. I started a feud with bona fide main eventer and former champion Randy Orton, one of the biggest figures in the game and one of the top guys in the WWE for over the last 20 years. But just as his feud was getting hot, Kingston was squashed and buried, and Shoot called stupid in the middle of the ring during the match where he made a mental error by Randy Orton. And then he was unceremoniously booted, no pun intended, to the end of the line for most of the next decade. Again, to be clear, this is not unique to black wrestlers, as Vince and a variety of figures with power in the WWE would constantly hold back other hot wrestlers just so they can keep their spots, but it definitely felt different and like a bigger waste than usual for a guy like Kofi Kingston. And with him and with other black wrestlers, it's hard not to notice that they're usually twice as good and twice as deserving than many of their white peers who suffered the same fate. For example, Zack Ryder's whole internet champion thing was great and it was a moment, but it's nothing compared to the waste that is having R-Truth be a comedy act for the last decade when he's had everything possible to be a top tier heel or face for years now. And that's
Now listen, this is just personal taste. I feel like R-Truth is better in his comedic role. That might be the most drastic fucking hot take under the sun. That might be the most drastic hot take under the sun. But R-Truth is one of my favorite fucking wrestlers. Not only because this motherfucker is athletic as fuck at that age, he's also fucking hilarious on the mic and off the mic. He did have that fucking great ass run in TNA. And that was him in like a non-comedic fashion. And maybe if you take that and bring that to when he come back, maybe people would have took it a little bit more serious. But I think it's because he came back and immediately fell back into that fucking role and then went the route of like losing his mind that it didn't really work. I think they should have had him come back serious, not as a mental patient, but as like a serious motherfucker who's like tired of being mistreated. He went away and he was fucking treated better from like what you would argue is like the boonies of wrestling, TNA. He got treated better there and now wants to come back and be treated the same, if not better, in the big time. And he really ain't get that shake. And it's fucked. But I can't sit here and act as if I don't enjoy R-Truth in the comedic role.
Seemed like all the WWE could be for decades as I watched from the mid-80s going into the late 2010s. It felt like if you were black, you could be a part of the show, and maybe you didn't have to even be Sidney Poitier. You can be something interesting between Sidney Poitier and Denzel Washington every once in a while. You could come collect your checks and have great matches, but you could never be on the marquee. You could never be built around as the headliner. That just wasn't a spot for the black man in the WWE, unless, of course, if you count.
Wait a minute. Wait, no. When the fuck we gonna talk about the Hall of Pain? We gotta talk about the Hall of Pain, because he referenced the 2010s. Do I want to fucking count a Samoan as black enough for these people? I mean, I don't, but they did. But fuck. What about the Hall of Pain? We can't just sit here and act like Mark Henry was nothing but, you know what? I'm gonna just let it play out. Maybe we come back around. and we fucking realized that we had some moments that were great. They probably wasn't. Wait a minute, Mark Henry's run with the Hall of Pain was long lasting.
The Rock is a complex case in blackness and how blackness works, both within the WWE and life. I want to make one thing clear early on, especially for those biracial isn't black goofies in the audience. Yes, I do think you all are goofy. I'm sorry, but I'm not really. The Rock is black. The Rock has long since acknowledged that he is black. He has never denied this. It should not be misunderstood that if you're asking who the first black world champion in WWE history is, it's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, with an asterisk. Just follow me for a second. While The Rock most definitely is black, he is also very clearly, very purposefully not black, to the point where I'm sure a lot.
You think he forgot about Hall of Fame Mark Henry? I mean, every time I've seen Mark Henry on the screen, it was in the sexual chocolate gimmick, or the I'm an Olympian gimmick, or he was in that ugly ass fucking red fucking onesie. Maybe he references the Hall of Fame. There is still a significant amount of time left in this video for him to do it.
A lot of people aren't aware of the fact that The Rock is half black, that his father is the aforementioned Rocky Johnson, and that his father had a Jerry curl, and The Rock used to have an afro. Like, these are not things that are well known within The Rock's history.
Also, am I tweaking, or did Ron Simmons not win a major world heavyweight championship in one of these companies? Am I tweaking? My history might be off. I won't lie to you. I can't sit here and act as if I'll pretend to lie to you.
Persona, and that's not an accident. Now, The Rock doesn't shy away from his racial and ethnic lineage, but he very much does not engage with or identify with it, whether as a wrestler or in movies. When you see The Rock on TV or in movies, he is coded as either a Samoan man or racially ambiguous. And that means something to how the representation
or a very terrible fucking police officer in the Fast and Furious franchise
works, because The Rock and the WWE were pretty intentional to make sure that it was never clear that The Rock represented me as a black fan. For decades now, the blackest thing The Rock has done on camera was have that weird cameo in that one Tyler Perry movie.
And I was also wondering if you thought it would be too forward if I asked you out to get some coffee.
Well, there is that one time he joined the wrestling version of the Nation of Islam.
We are one of the most powerful forces on earth. Would you please welcome the Nation of Domination?
How do I explain this? So The Rock is wrestling royalty. His father, like I said, Rocky Johnson, former tag team champion and WWE legend. His mother is the child of Peter Maivia, another WWE legend. And as they depict in the Young Rock show, The Rock grew up around wrestling as a part of his life. So it made sense that after the professional football thing didn't pan out, The Rock found his way into WWE with relatively minimal training and real ring experience, which wasn't atypical, but he was still pushed forward because Vince McMahon was a huge fan and saw great potential in him. And this is because The Rock had a ton of natural talent, potential, and charisma. Though initially they didn't want this to be seen for whatever reason, probably again on some Vince McMahon, I know what works best type shit. So they kept him as this smiling baby face.
Isn't it crazy that they found Nicole? Get the fuck, Chris. We are not having the OJ conversation. The OJ conversation is already weird enough. Let us not fool ourselves the slightest bit. Let us not fool ourselves the slightest bit. No one will be Coco Beware and his parrot. Man, fuck Coco Beware. Coco Beware sucked.
With little other personality and pushed him hard as that bland babyface pretty quickly, making him the youngest Intercontinental Champion of all time in 1996. But this shouldn't be mistaken for things going well for him. From the onset, crowds were lukewarm on The Rock, and over time, they really, really hated him, chanting "Rocky sucks" and "Die Rocky die," even as he smiled at them and pretended that he was their champion. This was mostly because of his bland babyface persona, which was ruined by Hulk Hogan years earlier, but I also argue that another reason for this was his racial ambiguity. Here was this guy that was clearly not white.
Really? Do we have to layer it more than just the goddamn? This motherfucker hit me with some sick shit. Do we have to layer this shit as to more of racial, not more, but with also racial ambiguity, instead of the fact that this motherfucker is essentially every fucking baby face we see now, overly booked, overly pushed, and annoying as fuck to constantly see on TV? This motherfucker back then is what Roman was before he became the god. Because I view it the same way. Roman, overbooked, overpushed, constantly in your fucking face, annoying as fuck. Pick this motherfucker up and throw his ass. Bow! The LAPD and Bruce Jenner took out. Oh my God, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? Why the fuck y'all chose to be on Tinder today? What's up? Y'all all right? Y'all need help? Y'all good? I don't think y'all good. Think y'all need a Lunchable or some shit. Y'all know the Lunchables got lead in them now? Lunchables got lead in them.
but very much coded white by babyface wrestler standards. Smiling, positivity, kissing babies, etc. He wasn't black or he'd be a thug or a pimp like most black characters were at the time. He wasn't even Samoan because Samoan wrestlers were barefoot and made ridiculous faces. All he was smiling and happy. Rocky Maivia failed miserably and something needed to change. And that something reintroduces one Ron Simmons back to our story. Ron Simmons arrived in the WWE, then the WWF a little bit earlier and was starting out initially with this ridiculous black gladiator gimmick, again, Vince McMahon nonsense. Thankfully for Ron, the WWE soon begins was referred to as the Attitude Era. His product, which up until that point was very kid-friendly, was subtly marked by a lot more realism, edginess, crassness, and risque activity, along with the open declaration that wrestling wasn't real, which was a blasphemous thing to do at the time.
We in the WWF think that you, the audience, are quite frankly tired of having your intelligence insulted. We also think that you're tired of the same old simplistic theory of good guys versus bad guys.
But it worked, and it was quite the thing to see. There was a working porn star, a guy who wanted to fuck his mom, some vampires.
When our bloodlines first embraced, I knew you were so special.
The concept of the Nation of Domination was already being played with as a spoof of the Nation of Islam at a lower level, complete with its own Farrakhan stand-in, but it didn't have legs until someone presented Simmons, now going as Farouk, with the plan to be its leader once it made it to TV. And Simmons, being the gifted man that he is, took it from there. So as I mentioned earlier, all wrestling gimmicks are shorthand representations of real-world stuff. So the Nation reproduced the scary radical energy and militancy of previous and current black radical traditions.
Y'all remember when they had a fucking group of terrorists jump the Undertaker and they immediately got rid of that shit? Oh, God, you gotta love it, bro.
At the time, Louis Farrakhan was at the height of his mainstream popularity in the 90s. Just a year prior, in the fall of 1995, Farrakhan had led the Million Man March, the biggest civil rights demonstration that the country had seen in nearly 30 years. But unlike previous mainstream black social movements, Farrakhan was a lot harder to swallow and overtly antagonistic towards white people and white power structures in a way that was unseen up until that point.
I'm afraid that if we ever come to power, we will do to you and your fathers what you and your people have done to us.
On top of this, just a few years earlier, the Malcolm X film reacquainted most of the country with the Nation of Islam, and the imagery of the Black Panther Party has never left the public consciousness. So it had everything they needed to remind people of what they were trying to imitate. Ron Simmons was highly respected behind the scenes and given carte blanche to get the faction over, with the goal of it being a venue for guys to develop and become bigger stars, guys like The Rock. But Ron Simmons relished the idea of being able to voice real grievances that he endured as a black man throughout his life, growing up in the Deep South and travailing through plenty of racial indignities as a black wrestler.
You think you can come out here and apologize to me for over 400 years of what we call antagonizing, slavery, washing your car, taking care of your kids? I'm a new breed of black man, like the nation is. Hey, I'm gonna tell you how we are. Did you know what your apology is to me? This is how we take apologies, with these.
I really should hate the nation.
I ain't even gonna lie. This shit can't, these motherfuckers not gonna allow that shit to fly today. This shit was cool back then. This shit ain't fucking flying now. These motherfuckers gonna get mad at nothing.
Nation of Domination. It was yet another bastardization of black radical politics and ideology, which has been flanderized for decades since the Panthers. I'll talk about this more in the Black Conservatism video. Go watch that for more details. But in short, this is based on real shit and real politics, and it sucks that in most media, it's presented as a spoof or satirization. The Nation of Domination wasn't putting forward any real arguments on a racial issue. Farouk was definitely allowed to say some things that were true and provocative, but there was an obvious limit. Half of their feuds during their most overtly radical era were fighting against other black wrestlers. Even as they spouted their slogan, taken from the legendary Malcolm X, by any means necessary, they weren't about that life. And most significantly, they were bad guys. They were heels. Ron Simmons would be on stage saying real shit about racial injustice with the expectation that the crowd would boo them. That was the goal. They got heat in the same way that New Jack got heat by being caricatures of angry black men playing the race card. In the grand scheme, the Nation of Domination should be seen as a shameful example of the way that black men were mistreated in the WWE, except for the fact that they got to whip people's asses.
And every time something right in the gut. No, it's not. Look out here. Come on.
All those things I said just now, completely true. But even to this day, there was something amazing about watching actual direct action play out on TV in the WWE ring. Every week, Farouk would march to the ring in kente cloth, in black leather jackets, and Kangos, and hotep hats. He would get on the mic and call everybody racist, and then some random white dude would come to the ring, or every once in a while, Ahmed Johnson, who ends up being a piece of shit, but that's a whole other conversation, would come to the ring, say some corny shit, and then it would beat they fucking ass. And it was great. It was something to seeing traditionally masculine black men exact violent retribution on people they saw as their oppressors. They even organized with like-minded allies who weren't black. The original Nation was based on the Rainbow Coalition. So you have Farouk kind of as Fred Hampton collaborating with a poor white trash character.
The DX blackface segment would not be able to last either. Like, you know how much shit this company used to fucking do? This shit was obscenely not only hilarious, but fucking wild. Like,
and a Puerto Rican character. Now, of course, this is a reach, right? Like, the crowds were still booing, but real recognized real. And I still appreciated what was going on for that short period of time that they were there. Sadly, possibly because they knew they couldn't hold it back too much longer, they got rid of him, which was also possibly due to politicking from members of DX. Triple H and Shawn Michaels were well known to meddle in other people's affairs for clout backstage. Farouk was then kayfabe pushed out of the Nation by The Rock, and with The Rock in charge, wouldn't you know it, it suddenly became a lot less black-oriented.
And the only problem we had with him is he didn't want to wear the little Muslim caps that we wore, whatever they were. He didn't want to wear a cap, and then he didn't want to put the green, what was it, green, red, and yellow, whatever the sign was, black, green, red. He didn't want to put that on him, so
suddenly Owen Hart was in it, which was fine because he was a great wrestler, but it also just became less aesthetically and thematically black. It just happened to have black people in it at this point. And it morphed into very much what The Rock is now, and a vessel for The Rock to become a bigger star, which worked because, like, let it be understood, The Rock was an amazing wrestler and performer at that time, and the Nation gave him that start. It just sucks because it wouldn't have been too hard to include some of those black aesthetics and themes into what The Rock was doing, but I'm pretty sure that's not what he was all about. They still said by any means necessary, but the connection to what it originally came from was completely gone. But even in that, it's a pretty profound symbol of black political action. Organizing occurs, good work is done, and like people get enthused about the possibility of some actual social change, and then suddenly people people start to go rogue, folks start to get a little money, and they still say all the good things. But if you pay attention, you recognize that it's only black and radical in name, and it starts more so being about other people's brands. Oh shit, why is Killer Mike here? And this is how The Rock operates in his blackness, something that he's been criticized for. But I personally, like, as I'm saying this, I don't have a problem with The Rock and how he operates in his blackness. The Rock doesn't deny his blackness, which is all you really can ask for. He's just more in tune with his Samoan lineage, which makes sense because he was closer to a Samoan mother and his Samoan mother's family than his father. It's normal for that to be the case. But more importantly, The Rock never used blackness either. His goal of avoiding being typecast and kind of pigeonholed as a black person also meant that he never got to play into black.
Nah, let me just go back for a second.
Importantly, The Rock never
let me deviate this entire fucking
use blackness either. His goal of avoiding.
Let me deviate this entire fucking video to just say, oh my fucking God, do y'all remember the game plan? This was the worst fucking movie ever at the fucking time. This movie was dog shit. Dog. I'm supposed to like this shit. This shit would come on Disney Channel and it would be like the one movie that come on that take up 4 fucking hours for some reason. This shit sucked. This shit was trash. I'm glad this shit didn't got banished from the fucking ether. Fuck.
Avoiding being typecast and kind of pigeonholed as a black person also meant that he never got to play into black stereotypes or any type of black aesthetic to have us lift him to the top. So he never had the opportunity to like be all out in front about black issues and black people's business and then hide when it was time for shit to get real. And in the world of wrestling, this actually stands out because at the time, hip hop was super popular and it would have been really easy for him to do more about being black to get over. At the time, so many wrestlers were doing this. John Cena later on built his whole career out of hip hop aesthetics.
No, wait. You can't see me, dog. Yo, you couldn't find 2 lines to rhyme if your brain had low jack. How am I gonna get out battled by a wannabe Kojak?
The NWO used to come out to Matt 10 and shit. Public Enemy, they named themselves Public Enemy, but look at these dudes. He probably wouldn't have went through that hard transition at the beginning of his career if he had just came out as a black guy doing a black guy type of thing to get cheap heat. But he didn't. He's like the opposite of Drake. He is the one.
99% of The Rock's moves were dog shit. Listen, the people's elbow, objectively, is not the move we all should think is going to end the world. But like, I'm not being knocked out by no fucking people's elbow.
One example of a black man saying, I'm gonna do my own thing, so I don't wanna be defined by my blackness. And it actually worked. Now it argues because the dude looks much more Samoan these days than he does black, but it still worked. And because of that, I don't have anything bad to say about Rock and his blackness. But I don't have anything good to say about it either. The ongoing debate about The Rock as the first black WWE champion has never really been about whether or not he is technically black or identifies with his black.
All right, never mind. See? You see how this motherfucker FD Signifier came? He was like, I fucking hate you fucking reactors. I can at least admit I'm watching this shit. I got it on fucking 1.7 speed. So fuck. But he's specifying WWE. See, when I'm thinking first black champion, I'm thinking Ron Simmons. But that's just champion overall. Not overall, but more so like major world heavyweight champion. Because I don't want to sit here and be like, who's the first black United States champion? Be honest, nobody give a fuck about that. Motherfuckers give a fuck about who the first black world heavyweight champion. And I immediately go to Ron Simmons, but he specified WWE. So you know what? I correct the record.
Both of those things are completely true. The debate is really about how much The Rock represents us as black fans. How much does The Rock represent blackness in America? And to me, it's just as inarguable that The Rock doesn't represent blackness in his character or persona. He just doesn't. And it's okay if you still like him. I still like him. I loved rewatching some of this old Rock stuff as I researched for this video, and I watched it seeing a really, really talented, natural, entertaining guy, not a black man. That's just not how it looks to me, and I think that's on purpose. And it's not just me. I think for a lot of black fans, The Rock just doesn't check that box. As much as we love him then and now, it's never been as one of us. When there's a conversation about black wrestlers, that conversation doesn't really look to include The Rock, and I think if he could speak his piece, he would say the same thing. That's why even in his first Nation of Domination promo, he distanced himself from the racial dynamics.
This isn't about the color of my skin. This is about respect.
And as soon as he took over the nation, all the racial stuff changed. So, is The Rock the WWE's first black world champion? Yes. But let's be real. History and the black collective culture as a whole probably will only recognize one man as the real first to accomplish this goal, and that brings us back to this man.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, bro. Like, I love Kofi Mania. Kofi Mania was sweet. It was fun. The hot take is that that man wasn't supposed to be in that position anyway. And maybe he touches on that. Maybe not. I don't know. But this, I ain't gonna lie to you, this overall spot and how far it was supposed to go all depends on Vince McMahon. Shit was supposed to be for Mustafa Ali. And who knows if that motherfucker even touched the fucking who knows if that motherfucker even ended up touching the WWE championship for WrestleMania. But the spot of him being in the Elimination Chamber and all that was supposed to go to Mustafa Ali.
So I can't even sit here with confidence and be like, Kofi was ever going to be champion if it wasn't for them circumstances lining up the way they did for him. The Undertaker was not okay. I don't know what you talking about. The Undertaker's the fucking GOAT. Fuck what you talking about?
As I've said before, there have been countless uber-talented black wrestlers in WWE history that should have held the highest title. And I want to be explicit about that term, the highest title. By highest title, I mean holding one of the two main belts in the WWE and being a babyface in the process. Some might point out that Booker T, again, probably the greatest black wrestler of all time, held the World Championship title for the WWE in 2006. However, as fans...
Booker! Hold on. I forgot. Motherfucker, made me forget about Booker. Why Booker don't count? How we immediately skip from The Rock to Kofi? That's a drastic ass jump. What about Mark Henry? Because he specified main belts, and he said 2. So it's either WWE or the World Heavyweight. Hi, Droll. We're currently talking about the history of black wrestlers and their impact on touching that belt. You should go on Geeks and Gamers and debate your WWE hot takes. No, because I don't really what hot takes do I have about the fucking WWE? Actually, I got one. Santino should have won the championship in the Elimination Chamber. That's my fucking hot take. You can't fucking act as if, and he should have won the Royal Rumble. You know what's crazy? That one year where he made it seem like he was about to win the Royal Rumble, that was funny. Like, that was a moment that I could enjoy and be like, oh my God, I'm fucking hyped. Santino's stupid ass about to win. He ain't win, so who cares? Then the next year, the literal next fucking year, this motherfucker goes all the way to the final 2 in the Elimination Chamber. How the fuck they got me with that 2 straight fucking years? On some real life gangster shit. They had me really thinking Santino should be a fucking world heavyweight champion. That's what the fuck you call storytelling at its peak. He was over as fuck for a while. He was over in them 2 exact moments where if it's me, I'm saying fuck it. This shit is scripted. You could take this belt off him the next night and I wouldn't even be mad, because guess what? In their history books, he a champion. But we got King Booker. We got Mark Henry in the Hall of Pain. And they both held the World Heavyweight Championship. They didn't hold the WWE Championship. However, he specified the main belts, 2 of them, twins. Arguably, one is more important than the other.
To WWE know they have 2 world championship belts with 2 different names, and while on paper there's no technical hierarchy between them, at the time it was greatly understood that one belt was much more prestigious than the other, and that was the WWE.
And it still is.
Championship. And this was mostly represented by the fact that the WWE Championship belt was only defended on WWE Raw, the flagship show of the company. And the other World Championship was defended on SmackDown. Sometimes this difference is negligible or non-existent. So for example, right now, the most prestigious title is arguably on SmackDown with Roman Reigns, but at the time when Booker T won the championship, it was kind of at a low point. Further and more importantly, Booker T won it as a heel, evoking the imagery of Denzel Washington winning his Oscar. There's much more to the lore to explain all of this in this particular run, but I just understand this moment, him as a champion, while a great run as a champion, it doesn't really hit the mark. And the core reason is that Booker T as the champ was never the face of the company. He never got the late night talk show appearances. He didn't get the marquee status. He didn't get the full prestige of what holding that title should.
All right, so I'm kind of getting more and more what he means here. He's wanting a babyface to run the show. Well, not run the show, but like get all the fucking press that you would see a motherfucker like Triple H, Randy, John. Can't say CM Punk because I can't really dignify CM Punk as the face of the company at any point, even when he was hot. And he really wasn't the face of that fucking company. Who else? Arguably now Cody. So I'm kind of gauging what he's trying to get at here.
There was never that moment that I talked about at the beginning of us watching him be celebrated at the highest level of his industry as a black man. He was meant to be booed.
Please rise.
But he almost did have that. In fact, it's one of the biggest misses in WWE history.
What a great night for Booker T. He's got a lot to smile about. Oh, yes, we said.
Years before, Booker T was slated to be one of the headliners at WrestleMania 19 in a championship match against Triple H. And this feud had all of these implicitly racist undertones that the WWE hadn't seen since the Nation of Domination days, with scenes of Triple H throwing money at Booker T and saying people like you aren't meant to be champions here.
Your job is to make people like me laugh, and you're very good at it. With your nappy hair and your suckers
Triple H was an incredibly
wild shit at the time too.
hated heel, while Booker was incredibly over. He was one of the most popular figures in the entire company, and it felt like a lock for him to win the title at WrestleMania and have a decent run. It's rare that a WrestleMania ends without crowning a new babyface champion, and it would have been perfect for someone like Booker T, who had come a long way to get there and had a ton of fanfare and love behind him. But unfortunately, Booker lost in rather anticlimactic fashion. He was relegated back to the mid-card, as many talented black men had been before him up until his reign as world champ on SmackDown, which again was a step below in prestige. This moment, this feud with Booker T, where all of us thought it was happening and didn't, hangs heavy in the hearts and in the heads of many a WWE fan, but it definitely loomed large in the heads of black fans whenever a new black wrestler emerged and seemed capable of reaching the highest heights of the company. We would watch
Not this black wrestler. I'm the man right here. What the fuck going on here? What the fuck is The Miz doing? I don't give a fuck about what The Miz doing. Fuck The Miz. He ain't gonna take my championship from me. Fuck that shit.
This happened and refused to get our hopes up because it felt like we would just have to be satisfied with never seeing one of us at the top. And all of this was going through our heads when suddenly Kofi Kingston was thrust into the main event scene in 2019, 10 years after Randy Orton called him stupid and pushed him back down the ladder. 16 years after Booker T lost unceremoniously to Triple H, and over 35 years since Ron Simmons first hoisted the WCW championship.
He did mention Ron Simmons. Good man. Good man. Good man. He did mention Ron Simmons.
At this point in his career, Kofi is more than a 10-year vet who seemingly has maxed out his opportunities. He's older and less physically impressive and coming out of a tag team role where he was incredibly popular, but still not seen as a main eventer at that level. But suddenly, after all these years, he was going to be the first black man to headline WrestleMania in 15 years. So the question is, how did we get there? So going back to Kofi's earliest days, he came in and was strongly pushed and was strongly over with the crowd. He'd been a respected and well-regarded performer for years, winning several mid-card championships and several tag team championships before that feud with Randy Orton. This moment had haunted Kofi both in kayfabe but also in real life.
Randy didn't like me, so I don't know. This is like not like a storyline thing at all.
Right.
You know,
He
so
for real, he didn't like
this
you.
is for real. Like he, didn't want me to get to this point. So at the time, Randy was on top, so he kind of went to a couple of people and expressed his dismay for me. And then before you knew it, I was kind of going back down. And
it had become a meme, signifying the moment where his career that seemed so promising was capped at the level he was at. Kingston floundered in the mid card after this moment and was starting to look like he was going to become a perpetual jobber when in kayfabe and out of kayfabe he was recruited by Xavier Woods to form a new stable. The stable would have a very confusing beginning. Initially, it was rumored that it was going to become a rebirth of the Nation Domination, but that wasn't the case. Xavier, Kingston, and a relative newcomer named Big E joined what would seem at the time to be a new heel faction, but they only made one appearance as a group before being taken off TV for months. And when they returned, they were different.
This shit was wild. Having these motherfuckers come out basically as a quiet group, I was like, man, get this shit off my fucking face. What the fuck is going on here? Like, what why does Logan Paul have a belt with lights on it? What the fuck am I seeing? I'm not even paying attention to this. I'm more paying attention to this video.
Let me say something.
I think this is again one of those weird Vince McMahon fucking with you moments. Vince forced them into seemingly babyface roles again and saddled them with this concept where they were going to be black gospel choir leaders. At least it's not a thug or a gangster or a pimp. I guess we're making progress. They rolled with it and then something magical happened. Kayfabe and reality split. The New Day, this trio of positive black men smiling and clapping in the ring, were supposed to be cheered and loved and celebrated much like so many figures before then, but the fans weren't feeling it and it would take their chant New Day rocks and turn it into But all that did was activate Xavier's trap card. Xavier got permission to lean into the negativity and turn the faction heel. And it was lightning in a bottle. Their overly clean, overly positive ridiculousness made them obnoxious and very hateable, generating amazing heat. And so they were three of the top heels in the company. If you know anything about wrestling, then you know that getting people to hate you is actually one of the most valuable and hardest skills that you can have. Because they don't hate you, they enjoy hating you, like a real media or TV villain. Because if you have the charisma to get the crowd to hate you, it's even easier to get them to like you. And that's what happened with the New Day. After around a year of amazing work, they turned into white hot baby faces and elevated the tag titles to a level that hadn't been seen in years, going nearly 500-day run as champs and breaking the WWE record for longest reigning tag team champs in that process. And they did it in a way that wasn't thought possible with black wrestlers. The New Day weren't thugs, they weren't pimps, they weren't angry black men even. They were fun, they were positive, they were silly, they were even kind of dorks, like Xavier Woods played the trombone and had him coming out in Dragon Ball Z costume. They wore unicorn horns and threw pancakes at the audience.
And they made so much fucking money off that shit. When them motherfuckers started selling cereal, shit you not, I wanted a box. I didn't know how to get it at the time.
That black man could
wasn't in any of the stores nearby.
Exist outside those stereotypes and be successful and loved for it. And they remain one of the top acts in the company up until the moment that Kofi entered the Elimination Chamber in November of 2019. Due to an injury to another wrestler, Kofi was a last-minute entrant into the spectacle where a giant cage dome is created around the ring and 6 different contestants enter. And he's carrying the momentum of his New Day run with him, meaning he's coming in with a lot of heat. And in this Elimination Chamber, he's taking on some of the top stars in the company and beating them, including one Randy Orton.
Bryan was also in that match.
He would still lose this match, but the way the crowd responded was enough to warrant a push toward WrestleMania. And here's where we again see the amazing way that wrestling is able to tell a story. Surprisingly, even tell a very effective story about a black man's struggle to make it to the top. Kofi is hot coming off the Elimination Chamber, but he was still defeated by current WWE champion Daniel Bryan in the event. And Daniel Bryan is a figure worthy of his own video himself, having been one of many non-black underdogs held back by the WWE when the fans and everything else showed that he should have been at the top. And then once he made it to the top, winning the WWE championship in 2013, he was in real life forced into what seemed like an early retirement just a few years later in one of the most heartbreaking moments in wrestling history. If anyone understood in kayfabe or out of kayfabe what it felt like to almost make it to the top and then have things be taken away from you, it was Daniel Bryan. And when he finally returned as a full-time performer in 2018, he almost almost immediately turned heel. His heel turn story was that he was tired of the fans and thought they weren't worthy of his health, his blood, sweat, and tears, that they were fickle, and that they would just as soon cheer for the next man as they did for him. He also got a vegan version of the championship belt made of natural materials and wood, which was a hilarious troll because Daniel Bryan came back as an annoying white liberal, which is a really genius turn for him as a heel. In the build up to the match between Bryan and Kofi, Bryan ends up repeating everything that people said to him back to Kofi, that Kofi wasn't good enough, that he wasn't meant for the main event, that he was a B+ player.
He was hand-picked out of the tag team division and just given an opportunity that he had never earned. Kingston lost. Kofi Kingston has earned nothing.
And understand, this is the same thing that Daniel Bryan heard back in 2012 and 2013, which made the whole of the story that much more impactful. Because Daniel Bryan was becoming the very thing he hated. And to drive it home, he kayfabe was now teaming with Vince McMahon, the same man that tried to hold him back years earlier. Though thankfully they were careful not to sprinkle in any racial undertones like they did the last time they were doing this. But here's Kofi now having to fight this egotistical white liberal and this evil Republican senator to get on top. And I know this isn't what they intended, but my leftist brain recognizes that you're not just fighting country races like Ron Simmons did in WCW, or highfalutin egotistical blue bloods like Booker T did with Triple H years before. Having Kofi Kingston, a black man who should have been at the top of his industry years before, have to fight Daniel Bryan, a pretentious white liberal who purports to know better for him, but still is teaming with the overtly evil corporate backing of Vince McMahon, that's pretty genius. It's genius on accident more than likely, but it's still genius. And much like in real life, they put the most ridiculous obstacles in.
It was genius. I still hold the unique fucking stance that this motherfucker is not touching any of this shit unless Mustafa gets fucking injured. And it sucks because now every time I gotta fucking think about Kofi Mania, in the back of my fucking mind, I'm thinking, is Mustafa Ali getting this fucking shit? Like, is he getting this if he's not injured? And it was a freak fucking accident that he got injured. But overall, does he touch the belt?
In front of him, including his old nemesis, Randy Orton. For weeks, Kofi has put through literal gauntlets, as in a literal gauntlet match where he has to beat 6 people in a row to earn the shot at WrestleMania. And despite giving everything he could, at the end of the day, he fails with 1 man left to go. But in another great moment of storytelling, I have to believe that the New Day had a lot to do with how this story played out, because when Kofi's at his worst, his brothers come and lift him back up. And so McMahon decides that he'll still get his shot if the rest of the members of the New Day can somehow accomplish the same task that Kofi wasn't able to do on his own. So the following week, Big E and Xavier fight 10 other men, one after the other, just to earn a shot for their brother. And one after the other, they get beaten down, but they take their opponents out. They get down to the final 2 tag teams and they're faced with the Uso brothers in another amazing bit of long-term storytelling. The Uso brothers, 2 twins, Jimmy and Jay, are
fucking was amazing though. Motherfuckers just gave up the match to say, fuck it, Kofi deserve it. Fuck, I'm living memories again.
As black on TV, far blacker than their actually black cousin, but that's not important. For a big chunk of the previous year, the New Day had been in wars with the Usos for the tag title belt, some of the most brutal and hard-hitting matches all year. And the Usos came up short each time. But the Usos also know the struggle of marginalization as well. And in an act of solidarity, in a moment where it would have been easy for them to finish off the New Day, they enter the ring, speak to their respect for the New Day, and then forfeit the match.
Everybody knows the Usos fought wars against the New Day. And everybody knows there's one person who deserves to fight for the WWE Championship, and that's Kofi Kingston.
After that amazing moment, the last 2 opponents are Eric Rowan and Daniel Bryan, who Xavier and Big E are able to defeat, earning a shot at the WWE Championship for their brother at WrestleMania. It was a near perfect build up to this match, and it was only a few months in the making and occurring only because someone got hurt. And it really speaks either just to how ridiculous I am as a wrestling fan, or the genuine quality stories that are able to be told through this unique medium that this same company that has broken my heart so many times, the same company that gave me Akeem, the African Dream, somehow had me seated and ready to pay for WrestleMania.
Yeah, it's a little bit of both. You can have the delusion of being a fan while these motherfuckers kind of get put in scenarios to tell a great fucking story. Even if they don't want to tell that fucking story, sometimes the devil forces their hand. Like, motherfucker brought up Daniel Bryan. Daniel, I don't give a fuck what none of y'all fucking say. The motherfucker put it in his own book. He not touching that fucking championship in 2014. He's supposed to be going up against Sheamus. But because all these motherfuckers said, we don't want to see Batista versus fucking Orton, they pivoted to one of the greatest fucking WrestleMania moments of all time. But a moment that's greater than all of these moments is Brock Lesnar beating the fuck out the Undertaker and breaking the streak. And I'm sitting there looking at one of my best friends sit there in silence like a little bitch because he was an Undertaker fan. And all I told him was, I'm betting on Brock to win. Oh, 14-year-old me as a wrestling fan, most pretentious asshole in the building.
The match itself was again this perfect microcosm of everything that happened up until this point. Because unlike most other times, Kofi enters the ring by himself with the New Day coming after. He's alone, but he's supported by his brothers. And Bryan is accompanied by one of his goons, Eric Rowan, and clearly carries the favor of the establishment with him. Bryan is in kayfabe and in real life an amazing technician in the ring, able to put on amazing technical matches and high-flying matches. But instead, he brawls with Kofi. It's a brutal, hard-hitting match for nearly 30 minutes, much more brutal than one might expect from 2 wrestlers that know how to fly across the ring. The match has its usual twists and turns, including Xavier and Big E have to take out Eric Rowan to level the playing field, and a bunch of other dramatic moments. Kofi gets put into Daniel Bryan's finishing submission move twice and breaks out. And if you're black, if you're like me, all you're thinking about right now is the last time you were in this position. The last time you thought that you were going to see this moment happen on WWE TV. And it's times like this where it's hard to conceptualize that none of this is real, because damn if it didn't feel real. And this is how wrestling storytelling is so.
Is it bad if I didn't think that at all, and instead I was just waiting for the motherfucker to get out of it and hit the Trouble in Paradise? Am I the sick fuck who didn't really view it that seriously, but understood why people viewed it seriously? Because it's like, yeah, the shit fake. This has no overall significant impact to me, but I understand why this has significant impact to other individuals, like a FD Signifier, or even, if we're going to be wildly charitable, not only Kofi's kids, but other little black African-American kids sitting there watching this. Because I will still argue with you motherfuckers to the death that representation done right is a great thing. Done wrong, you get the fucking Good Times reboot, and nobody wants to fucking see that shit. Like that. The fact that somebody had to remind me that that shit exists lets me know that you motherfuckers want me to suffer on occasion.
So great, because surely you're drawn into the end of Rocky or the end of Avengers or any movie with the same type of conflict. But in those movies, you know the good guy's gonna win in the end. You're just waiting to see how it happens. But in this case, we legitimately don't know. And everything that we've known about the WWE up until this point is telling us that this is not what's gonna happen. It's telling.
Nah, I kind of figured. And I know when he's saying we, he's talking about anybody who really isn't paying attention that much to WWE and they just watching to fucking watch. To it's like, yeah, I knew Kofi was gonna fucking win. I was just waiting for it, see how it played out. And guess what? It still fucking played out wonderfully. Fuck. Even if this shit's scripted, the shit ends up being magical moments. You fucking dipshits that run around talking about stuff. This shit's fake, but you love all these Marvel movies. Guess what? We always know how these fucking Marvel movies are gonna end. With the fucking hero triumphantly winning. I don't give a fuck if it has to be a 2-part, 3-part movie. You know at the end of it, the fucking heroes are gonna rise triumphantly. Yeah, maybe 1 or 2 of them die, but you know what? It's time for them to go.
Us that Kofi Kingston is not going to win. There's this great signature move that Daniel Bryan has that he developed when he became a heel, where he grabs his opponent by like their arms and then just starts stomping them multiple times in the face. And this is another situation where it's hard for me to understand that this is all fake, because how do you fake this? I think you just have to be tough. And of course, toward the end of this match, Bryan gets Kofi in this move, and he's just literally beaten down on the ground. And in this moment, I'm like, okay, are you gonna do it to me again? And then Daniel Bryan proceeds to put on his finishing move, a submission maneuver, where the opponent is expected to tap out to literally signal that he gives up, that he accepts defeat. Submission moves are one of the great dramatic tools in wrestling storytelling, because it allows wrestlers to like really draw out the drama and the emotion of the moment, and then release it or not release it, to turn it on its head and give the audience more reason to be excited and hope for the outcome that they're looking for. But Kofi had fought out of this submission twice already during the match, which would signal that the third time would be the end for him. But he fights out again. And then there's this moment, this perfect moment, the exact moment I described at the beginning of this video, where the crowd and his brothers begin to chant for Kofi Kingston. They begin to slam their hands on the ring, saying New Day Rise, and saying Kofi, Kofi, Kofi. And with that energy and just, one of those great winking and nods that I don't know if it was on purpose, but I felt it, he puts that same move back on Daniel Bryan. He puts him on the ground, grabs his arm.
Yeah, it was on purpose. It's the art of storytelling in a match. Motherfucker mush your fucking head in, you mush their head back in. That's the art of telling a story in these wrestling matches. That's often, maybe I'm the crazy one here, why a lot of motherfuckers love this shit. Yeah, motherfuckers fly around, beat the shit out of each other, woo-doo-woo-doo-woo and all that. Just woo-doo-woo-doo-woo and all that. But oftentimes, there's a story there that could be told, and these motherfuckers seemingly know how to tell it masterfully. And in this example of, I was about to say The Rock versus Kofi versus Daniel Bryan, they did it masterfully.
And then takes his turn stomping him in the face. That dreaded black retribution that the whole world has been waiting for. But even then, because he had that moment, I'm like, okay, what happens next? Once he finishes stomping down on him, he goes back into the corner, turns toward Bryan, and with 15 years of frustration, hits him with his finishing maneuver, the SOS, a flying spinning kick.
I'm glad he corrected that, because I'm about to be mad.
A finishing move in wrestling is special and often serves as a dramatic signal to the audience that a match is ending. But it doesn't always happen like that. Sometimes you can double and triple up the drama of a match by having someone kick out or break out of a finisher, much like Kofi did several times in this match, much like Triple H had done to Booker T years prior. So as Kofi hits the SOS and covers Daniel Bryan, I'm not sure if Bryan...
Leon, you have a lot of built-up tension watching wrestling. Bro, I just love wrestling, bro. I ain't gonna fucking lie to you. Why do you think I'm watching this video? You think I'm watching this for fun? I'm watching this because this motherfucker giving their take and their perspective on wrestling.
Some of it I can agree with. Some of it I could be like, what the fuck? What's the correlation?
Won't kick out. I'm not sure if the good guy, one of my guys, will win. And then the ref counts 3. And I scream in shock as Kofi rises up with his own shocked look on his face. It was so loud that my wife ran into the room and thought something was wrong with me. She's like, what's wrong? I'm like, baby, he did it. He was the champion. Not the lesser world championship with the iffy lineage, not a heel champion that we're meant to boo. No, Kofi Kingston is the WWE.
The iffy lineage, because it's true. Fucking World Heavyweight Championship got the most iffy fucking set of circumstances ever. That shit'll be here, but it won't count as something else, and then it'll show up, then it won't count, and then it'll disappear so that we can make room for a fucking belt that looks like a Skittles bar. And then once the Skittles bar is on one show and the fucking champion no longer is there every fucking week, we gotta bring it back, but not hold any fucking relevancy to it from the past and dictate one guy as the first world heavyweight champion in this fucking company's history, which is biblically not fucking true. Fuck, that fucking belt got so much iffiness around it.
Champion, a part of the longest legacy of champions in the company. And for every real black wrestling fan, you probably agree, the true first black heavyweight champion of the world. And it's clear that everyone immediately understands how big this is. The crowd erupts. He brings his son in to celebrate with them. There's this video of the late Shad Gaspard and MVP at a bar crying and hugging each other as they watch, realizing that this is the first time a black man has been to that height. And I know to non-wrestling fans, this seems silly. This isn't real. It's fake. Kofi didn't win an actual athletic contest. He was written to win by the creative staff of the WWE. Jack Johnson was a breakthrough champion. Simone Biles, Tiger Woods, Doug Williams, Serena Williams. These are all black athletes that actually won their historic moments. But if you've ever cheered for your fave winning a Grammy or an Oscar or whatever type of recognition, then you've
never done that. Honestly, I don't even see why I would cheer for that. Now, me saying that is me saying I wouldn't do it. I understand longtime fans of all these motherfuckers will sit here and be like, oh my God, they finally won. And it's like a big moment for you, even though you played no part in that other than buying a fucking ticket to go see the fucking movie. You know?
Understand why this was a big deal for black wrestling fans. If you've ever wondered why black people pull behind our champions and icons, even our not so great politicians in seemingly irrational ways, it's because we know that there's black people somewhere watching this that need to see that win, that maybe haven't seen someone who looks like them, who represents them, win in a long time. And the wider and more undeniable the win, the better. And in a weird way, that's what makes Kofi's win so special. Kofi didn't win just because he's one of the best to do what he does. It's because everyone in the company wanted him to represent what the best looked like in that moment. They wanted him to be the person on top, to represent not just for the company, but for the fans. And this, for the moment, was an undeniable acknowledgement or reprieve from the idea that blackness has to be this mark of doom. It's a show of love and warmth and celebration for us as we are and not as we are expected to be. Kofi went on a media tour, took his belt to his home nation of Ghana. He even took it to the Breakfast Club. It was the blackest thing that happened in 2019, and it was amazing. And Kofi's run did not disappoint. He retained in a rematch against Daniel Bryan. He beat...
Now we got a problem. Cause he kinda did disappoint. In terms of like match quality and overall storytelling, this shit did disappoint. And it disappointed necessarily because these motherfuckers, I don't know what it is, but like after WrestleMania, these motherfuckers can't really book any fucking thing interesting. And that leaves me petrified for Cody Rhodes because this motherfucker probably had the best storyline walking into a Mania since Daniel Bryan. And all of the factors are not there. Him chasing the belt ain't there. Roman ain't there. Rock ain't there and probably won't come back until around SummerSlam. Like, this is a problem. Objectively, it's a problem. And it's a problem I hope they figure out and navigate. Because if they don't, Jesus Christ, motherfuckers gonna be looking at Cody's like, all right, motherfucker, you won, but this shit boring now. Fuck. Like, you won with a special moment, kind of recreated some, I don't know what they recreated exactly, but some moment where a motherfucker won a belt and everybody was like, woo, damn, clothesline the fuck out of him. I need all the fucking pop and circumstance to remain and stay and not just disappear. Cause what The Rock said, wrestling cool again, I'm gonna need it to stay cool. I'm gonna need it to stay a little bit trendy. And I'm sorry, Rhea Ripley slapping her ass every fucking week. That's cool for the horny motherfuckers. It's like, it's how many times can I see the same thing over and over and over again before I realize it's the same thing over and over and over again?
other legit contenders in Kevin Owens and Dolph Ziggler, even had an amazing blood feud with Randy Orton for SummerSlam in 2019, finally getting his revenge on the man that had in kayfabe and in real life pushed him down the ladder a decade earlier.
To make it 1-on-1 with him and Bryan. Ultimately, we know the only time.
And it was really far better than I think most black fans imagined it would be. The crowd was still hot behind him, and it was no telling.
Worthy? Now I'm going to spend dedicated time to watch these old fucking shows to see if they really stayed hot on Kofi. Because it's like, they was with him for a minute. Let's not act like he won that belt, then the next night they booed him out the building. No. They was with him for a minute, but then it died down just a little bit. Because it's like, all right, this is all we got now? Which is the fucking problem of this fucking company and not really knowing how to tell a story past a certain point. Because like, once he got the match with Randy and he won or lost, and he ended up winning, what more was there to do? Legitimately, what more was there to do?
What next? Until everyone saw what was next. Brock Lesnar. So in and out of kayfabe, Brock Lesnar is kind of a monster who barely loses. He was a real-life UFC heavyweight champion, and no other wrestlers had barely touched him for years. More specifically, Brock is what wrestling fans recognize as a part-time headliner, which is a wrestler who is a huge star, but only comes around for special occasions or short stints with the company. This is what happened with The Rock and John Cena and Batista after they became big movie stars. It's also been the case for guys like The Undertaker and Bill Goldberg. A byproduct of their role in the company is that other good wrestlers that are full-time workers and have to carry the load in between often find themselves very quickly pushed aside when these guys come around. And it's sometimes really frustrating to be on a journey with a character or a wrestler for months, maybe even years.
Can I really even throw The Undertaker in that same category? Technically, yes. But selfishly, I wanted The Undertaker to stop altogether in like 2013. And the proof is in the pudding in that point when this motherfucker came back in 2014 and got a fucking concussion against Brock Lesnar. So it's like, there's an argument to be made that the nigga should have been stopped. And I see all these dipshits now that they didn't seen him choke slam The Rock be like, he should come back for one more. You motherfuckers have a fetish for watching old men die. And I don't know where y'all get that from, but cut it the fuck out. I don't want him to do any fucking thing. I didn't even want him doing that. I wanted that to be Stone Cold, but I guess the money wasn't there apparently for Stone Cold to do that. And that sucks, because all them fucking bands of characters came around. All anybody needed was that fucking glass shattering, and everybody would have been in that bitch losing their fucking minds.
Years, see them rise to the top only to have them immediately pushed aside to make room for some guy who we know after a few weeks is going to be gone. What's worse is, in the process, when these guys get pushed aside to make them seem very strong and to make them into bigger spectacles, the people that are holding those belts are squashed and buried. As in, they have to have incredibly one-sided and uncompetitive matches to transition power over to the entering part-timer. When Lesnar challenged Kofi after a near 6-month reign, it was no question that he would lose in most people's minds. And to be fair, 6 months is a long time for a title reign, and it was time for a change regardless. That's just how wrestling works. You have to pass the baton over and over to keep things exciting, to keep the stories going. But what people feared is that Lesnar would squash Kofi, that he would put him back in his place and relegate him back to the mid-card. What people wanted and hoped for was that at least it be a real match, that Kofi could look strong and valiant in challenging such a powerful figure who had been built up as an unstoppable monster, which would signal that although Kofi was going to use, that he at least still be seen as legitimate, as a top-tier contender going forward. Instead, Kofi's match with Brock Lesnar lasted less than 10 seconds.
This is sick shit. I ain't gonna lie, this is a sick way to go out for Kofi. I don't even think he got a rematch, did he? That's some sick shit. That motherfucker got booted.
There were so many other things going on in my real life that were getting on my nerves. I didn't need anything extra for my entertainment. I didn't need the WWE to remind me of what it was like to be black in America. Mind you, everyone foresaw this as a possibility. The same thing had happened to other wrestlers previously before Kofi. And this didn't happen because Kofi was black, but because he was black, it felt different. And I'm sure it felt different to others. Because it wasn't just a loss, it was also a reminder.
I ain't gonna lie. I don't even know if he shows it, because there's 6 minutes left in this video. But when this nigga got pinned, these motherfuckers immediately turned the camera to, of all people, Mark fucking Henry. And the look, man, fuck this. I gotta see that shit again. The look on Mark Henry's face was a look of a man being like, man, fuck this place. I don't even want to be in the crowd. Ooh. Where is it? Why did I spell Kofi Kodu? I'm smart on occasion. please.
Entertainment, and tonight.
This nigga Mark Henry. That's how you know nobody told Mark. Mark was probably walking around this motherfucker like, I don't want to be told nothing. Oh, man. Fuck, bruh. This motherfucker Mark Henry was I can't believe this. You can't lie. This is the face of a shocked motherfucker. This is somebody who genuinely looked at this shit and was like, oh, my goodness. Brock Lesnar did his big one though. I was a Brock fan, so I was happy anyway. Goldberg looked like he wouldn't do me like that. I ain't gonna lie. No, it was Goldberg that did to him like that. I forgot it was SmackDown 2 days before pay-per-view. That's even funnier. How you do this shit 2 days before fucking pay-per-view?
Minders who never get invested in representation politics or black firstisms, because at the end of the day, all of those firsts do have to come at the behest and approval of white institutions. And just as quickly as they can build you up and let you have your moment, they can take it away. And I think everyone knew this, but it didn't make it hurt any less to see it. So I stopped watching wrestling. And then COVID hit. And then Ahmaud Arbery was murdered, and then George Floyd was murdered, and then Breonna Taylor was murdered, and then all hell broke loose. Nothing seemed right for a while. And by the time I tried to watch wrestling again months after this happened, the crowd was gone, COVID was happening, people were dying, and it just felt wrong. And so for nearly 5
I'm struggling to understand the correlation here. So, guy won belt and you felt happy about it. Guy lost belt, arguably in a bitch fashion, and that somehow impacted you negatively. Like, I don't really understand that, but that's just the outsider's perspective of not really being attached that much. Like, I could be attached to this shit, but I guess the problem for me, and I'm speaking for me here, is that this shit fake, and ultimately I can go to bed either way. And anything real world, like Breonna Taylor and George Floyd, hold no significant weight to any real world issue that could negatively impact me. You can be negatively impacted by George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, any example during that time period. You lose me a little bit when you add in, even if it's not as significant as the others, Kofi losing a belt to a white guy they prefer to be booked strong, and who has been booked strong since 2012. Like I'm struggling with that one, my brother.
years, I barely watched any wrestling. And it wasn't until this past Royal Rumble that I watched a full wrestling show, and it was pretty damn good. I missed it. I remembered why I enjoyed wrestling watching that show. But then I also realized I had missed a whole lot. See, while the WWE is still a big corporation formerly ran by an awful person, it does seem like Kofi Mania had a lasting impact. In this near 5-year period that I haven't watched since Kofi lost, we've seen his brother Big E have a championship reign. We've seen Bobby Lashley, another legendary black wrestler that was often passed over, have a championship reign. And black women, who I haven't talked about a lot, are leading the pack in wrestling in America right now. Like some.
All right, I'm back. What I meant. All right, so we at the end. I got a question for you that I just fucking asked myself, and I'm gonna scroll back so that you can see that I have a point. Also, I'm kind of mad at you for not including. I'm mad at you right now because you didn't include the funniest part of Kofi Kingston losing his belt and his market. Mark Henry had the best fucking reaction out of anybody. This makes me believe Mark Henry did not know who was winning and how it was going to play out. Like, on God. Like, this motherfucker lose and it just goes, and it just cuts to Mark Henry. Like, jaw out. And to me, it's like, what the fuck? Oh. Also, I had to walk back a couple things because you were bringing up Ron Simmons. I thought you wasn't gonna bring up Ron Simmons. You brought up Booker T, even though you used Booker T as like a heel character when you meant as the face and baby face, and being in a spot to where you could actually be like on the marquee like a John Cena. Where the fuck is the equal amounts of conversation, even though you specified it's supposed to be a babyface? For Mark Henry, the Hall of Pain was the greatest shit out of anybody during that time period. In 2011 and 12, the disrespect Mark Henry garners. Oh wait, it's not the whole thing. This is the video. I need to go to this part. Because to me, I got a question for you. And I'm gonna let you hear yourself, then I'll ask this question.
Yeah. Is there anything you could tell us about that?
Shut up, CM Punk. I already watched that already.
The behest and approval of white institutions. And just so I stopped watching wrestling. And then COVID hit. And then Ahmaud Arbery.
Hall of Fame was dope, but he was a heel. Yes, I get that. But fuck. Motherfucker. Mark Henry deserves more fucking respect and credit for that. Because this motherfucker could have just been Fat R-Truth. Nothing more. That's a wild thing to say, though, considering all the history this man fucking made for himself. But this motherfucker just could have been a comedy gimmick. But whatever the fuck process went on in 2011 to get them to say, fuck it, let's make this motherfucker a killer. I was also kind of off wrestling in late 2000s, early 2010s. Fuck, early 2010s. You should have seen at least one glimpse of the Hall of Pain. Hold up. You comment, you making me miss the part I gotta ask you about.
Everyone knew this, but it didn't make it hurt any less to see it. So I stopped watching wrestling. And then COVID hit. And then Ahmaud Arbery was murdered, and then George Floyd was murdered, and then Breonna Taylor was murdered, and all hell broke loose. Nothing seemed right for a while. And by the time I tried to watch wrestling again months after this happened, the crowd was gone, COVID was happening, people were dying, and it just felt wrong.
All right, so look. Me personally, and I'm only speaking for me, I cannot correlate a dude losing a belt very fast to a big burly white dude in scripted fashion to any real world tragedy. Like that's just me. It's like I can understand nothing seeming right in the world and all these significant things, along with others playing a part. But to have all those real things next to scripted wrestling, I don't know, to me, kind of off. Also, once again, what a great fucking place to pause by me. Because I wasn't really watching Pandemic WWE. What the fuck is this? That's what the fuck they was doing? I'm glad I missed some of this shit. I feel like I might be tweaking. This might be a commercial. Because if this was actually dedicated time on WWE, what a waste of 3 hours. Because that looks like it was Raw. What a waste of fucking 3 hours. I don't know. Like, I can understand seeing the fanfare and the passion of seeing pieces of representation. Let me specify. Good representation that isn't really a caricature or isn't a negative stereotype or isn't a heel having a moment to shine, especially after, 15 years? But then to correlate the downfall to real world events, or not even correlate, to tie it along to, very, very, very off-putting. Real world, real life tragedy just makes things less entertaining. It makes it harder to enjoy anything, let alone things that require you to give a lot of grace, like wrestling. Not comparing. I can understand it. What's the green thing? I'm struggling to understand if that's a Mucinex monster or not. Because I refuse to believe that this was dedicated to Monday Night Raw. I could believe this was a fucking ad for Mucinex DM or PM or AM, whichever the fucking letters they are. And I could get that. All this fucking real world tragedy will make any motherfucker not want to watch anything that could give them a semblance of entertainment or a smile. So I could work with you on that one. The tragedy is just not feeling the entertainment in the moment when so much shit is going on. That's understandable. I kind of couldn't see the connection or correlation there. I'm glad I get the clarification. See, I'm not as bad as all these other motherfuckers reacting to shit. I could have came on this motherfucker and rah-rahed. And the only thing I really rah-rahed about, the disrespect not acknowledging Mark Henry. Also, I didn't really even pay attention to The Rock being like even part black. My understanding was that he was like a full-blooded Samoan. But that's just my perception of reality. And that is something I could choose to be wrong about. Oh, but let's get to the end, peoples.
And so for nearly 5 years, I barely watched any wrestling. And it wasn't until this past Royal Rumble that I watched a full wrestling show, and it was pretty damn good. I missed it. I remembered why I enjoyed wrestling watching that show. But then I also realized I had missed a whole lot. See, while the WWE is still a big corporation formerly ran by an awful person, it does seem like Kofi Mania had a lasting impact. In this near 5-year period that I haven't watched since Kofi lost, we've seen his brother Big E have a championship reign. We've seen Bobby Lashley, another legendary black wrestler that was often passed over, have a championship reign. And black women who I haven't...
I ain't gonna lie. All y'all react Negroes give me heartburn. Well, first of all, it's pronounced nigga. Second, well, shit. I just wanted to watch. I'm gonna tell you the real reason why I'm watching this. Because it was related to WWE, bro. I gotta make sure motherfuckers on the. What the fuck is on my screen? What the fuck is this? Wait. What the fuck is this? What is this? What the fuck? Who the fuck is this? Who the fuck is this Poindexter? Oh, I'm about to kill this motherfucker. I done stopped the whole process of whatever the fuck I was about to say. I am about to eat this motherfucker. If he lay one significant hit on me, I'm gonna be sick. Oh, fuck no, man. Fuck no. Nah, that's actually a big favor to me. I don't think wrestling fans really saw my video much. Shit, bomb. Motherfucker. 300. Well, let me see something. 300K views? Your shit flop? Almost 25K likes? Your shit flopped? That's flopping it? Shit, that shit flopping it, y'all. I'd hate to see what you call success. What the fuck? I'd hate to see what you call a bad video. What the fuck? Type shit niggas on. What I was about to say? I was about to say something. Bobby Lashley, criminally underrated. Can't cut a promo to save his fucking life, though. I just need... the way motherfuckers got Paul Heyman talking for Brock is the way I need MVP to remain talking for Bobby Lashley. And it's sick to my fucking stomach that that's not really a thing anymore. What the fuck is MVP anyway? Wherever the fuck he at, bring him back. Have him fucking talk for Bobby Lashley. Because this fucking heel group he got right now ain't it. Not to humble brag, but 300K in a few weeks is a failure to me. Motherfucker, if you don't stroke your fucking ego, I don't know who the fuck you think I am, but when you get a fucking high, no matter if it happened in a day or in a few weeks, fuck, celebrate. And if based on your perspective, that's a fucking flop, fuck, better luck in the next one. Get the 300K in 1 hour, fuck, and then get the million in a week. And fuck, your criteria or requirement for success will be raised. Hello. Ain't nothing wrong with a fucking humble brag. Bring that shit up to the wrong nigga. Let me fucking get to a point where 300K is weak to me. Boy, I'm talking my shit got me fucked up. Oh, nigga. You got me fucked up. Who is this Poindexter ass mother? This game is hilariously funny. I put it on everything I stand for. All right.
And talk about a lot are leading the pack in wrestling in America right now. Like some of the biggest stars in wrestling across the world are black women. 2 black women headline WrestleMania in 2021, and the same thing's probably going to happen probably by 2025. And to be clear, this isn't revolutionary. This is still very...
trying to get the same numbers these white boys get. I mean, I don't know, man. Pretty sure you gotta sell your soul just a little bit. You gotta grift, bro. You gotta get that grift going, bro. You gotta start saying some shit you don't mean. Leon, you gotta get those pants. What if I told you I already have those pants? I have those pants for a Halloween party gone hilariously fucking wrong. But that's a story for another day.
Very much entertainment. It's wrestling, a show where a 70-year-old woman can give birth to a hand. Because since Kofi Mania, I know that little black boys and girls won't have to watch the WWE and only see black people as pimps and thugs. That my sons will instead throw pancakes at the crowd and see themselves in ways that I didn't think were possible as a little boy. At a simple level, that's
all right. FD Signifier, you talked all this shit. Did you buy the bootios? You ain't buy the bootios. I can't co-sign this video. He ain't buy the bootios. I can't co-sign. I need more motherfuckers who dedicated financial money to the arguably one of the dumbest fucking products on the planet that is still fucking funny. Because, and I mean this, any motherfucker dedicated time to what looked like stale pancakes is a dedicated soldier. And to cereal that looked like the greatest fucking definition of bootleg Lucky Charms is dedicated to the cause. Like, any motherfucker, because I know motherfuckers bought it. I just don't know anybody that bought it, if that makes sense. I know people bought it because they wouldn't have been selling it as much, but I don't know anybody myself that bought it. And I just want to know motherfuckers if they decided to do that or not.
Amazing thing about wrestling and the black experience, that the stories that exist there resonate in ways you wouldn't believe could come from something as silly as pro wrestling, to the point where grown men across the country, myself included, shed tears for a moment of triumph that was scripted. Not because wrestling is real, but because the emotions evoked by the story it tells very much are.
Very true statement.
So I'm scared about this video for a couple of reasons. Number one, I'm filming this in a location and environment that I haven't done my entire YouTube career because going through a bit of a transition. Let's cross our fingers for that. But also because the WWE is extremely stingy with any type of use of their content, even when it's very clearly free use. So I know I'm going to fight multiple copyright flags on this video to make sure it remains monetized. I'll win them all in the end, but in the meantime, there will be some struggle. Because of that, it would be greatly appreciated that those of you who aren't already a part of my Patreon, please join my Patreon.
All right, I think we got the meat of this. I'm not joining Patreon. I don't know how to use that. I did like this video. I got my criticisms. I had to walk back a couple things upon re-listening, even though I got chewed out by FD Signifier, wanting to call me a react Negro. I prefer react nigga. It makes me feel special. But hopefully we all learned something today. If this motherfucker lays one more hand on me, I am going to call the police because I refuse to have this be any form of fashion. He pinned you? No, the fuck he didn't. Clearly, I'm still kicking his ass. So don't even sit there and lie to your fucking self. Matter of fact, since you want to talk all that shit, now I gotta hit him with the big shit. Hold on, fuck it. Take the video off the screen. Bing! And a bing! And a bing! Now I gotta pin him. If he kick out, I'm screaming. I apologize to the headphone niggas. Ah! No, I refuse. Get your pencil neck ass up. I refuse. Rebuke this type of fucking reality. My kids even dress like the New Day. All right, cool. Oh, he said yes. I was about to ask this question again. Like, you ain't about to skip over that one. Now listen, you bought them. Did you eat them? And did they taste like bootleg Lucky Charms? Because they look like bootleg Lucky Charms, but did they taste like bootleg Lucky Charms? I always got to know. I always got to be sure of some shit like that. Because in the grand scheme of things, these motherfuckers do be selling products that's wonky, especially food. I would not trust nobody making pancakes and then throwing them out into the crowd. I don't know what you got going on there. Objectively. Like, I don't know what you would have going on trying to fucking sell me pancakes out your fucking hands. It was funny when motherfuckers would get the fucking, like, they'd be in the front row and they'd dump all the fucking cereal in their face. I'm like, man, I wish I was a part of that. Modern wrestling is dumb. What an incorrect fucking statement. I gotta fucking wildly correct you on. Modern wrestling is probably more fun than the shit from the Attitude Era. Especially this past road to WrestleMania. Like, that shit, wildly more entertaining to at least me than any of the shit from the Attitude Era. Yes, you motherfuckers who live and die by Stone Cold getting on that beer truck and spraying motherfuckers is better than that. Him beating McSlacks proves wrestling is fake. I didn't know that was what you needed for that one, but all right. Wrestling is fun. I think that's the overall takeaway. Wrestling is fun, no matter how you slice it. Nah, it's not. Oh, poor child. Poor child. Leon, I'm gonna disagree. Ruthless Aggression was the shit. Here's my hot take. Ruthless Aggression was only the shit because of SmackDown. If SmackDown wasn't banging like it was, Ruthless Aggression would be looked at as a bunch of motherfuckers trying to act tough. You had Kurt Angle, Edge, Undertaker, Eddie Guerrero, John Cena, JBL. Come on now. What the fuck Raw had? Triple H? No thank you. Chris Jericho looking like a soccer mom? No thank you. Good try? No thank you. Good effort? No dice. Had Batista? No dice. But you know what? I think watching this video, I think this whole stream, we could realize a couple things. Number one, you motherfuckers are creating wild takes around O.J. Simpson. That has nothing to do with FD Signifier. That was just the first part of the stream. Number two, the history, Chris Benoit was not Ruthless Aggression. Chris Benoit was murder-suicide. Wrestling is a fucking pageantry of storytelling. And it could bring you in. It could take you out. It could tie into some real world shit. It could be important or it could not be. And motherfuckers could just make it more important than what it is. But at the end of the fucking day, it's fake, it's entertainment, and it allows itself to, depending on the story, encapsulate you in the moment. And I believe with Kofi Mania, with Daniel Bryan, some might argue Chris Benoit. I will not argue Chris Benoit because murder-suicide. It is always something fun to get you in. Even when you take 5 years off, you come back, you're like, what the fuck? Who the fuck is Jade Cargill? Who's this big muscular bitch beating on these motherfuckers? Who's Bianca Belair whipping motherfuckers with her hair? This shit is fun. It was a great lineup and great storytelling, in-ring ability, and was great. Now it's the in-ring ability and not the best. Now the in-ring ability, what the fuck? The in-ring ability is better. And the storytelling is meh until they finally decide to cook, which is only for these big pay-per-views. Let's be honest. Cody's road to WrestleMania was some captivating shit. Like, it really was. It really was. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm done. How the fuck was I streaming for 3 hours? What the fuck? They just gym freaks acting? Some of them have been wrestling for years, if not decades, honing their craft, and they just so happen to be very muscular. But at the end of the day, it's always fun to be a fan of wrestling. And I think the proper way to end the stream is like this. If you're one of the people who just watches people enjoy wrestling and you say wrestling is fake, I hope you're not a fucking Star Wars fan because that shit always fucking sucked. Goodbye!